नन्दिनी नन्दिनि नन्दितमेदिनि विश्वविनोदिनि नन्दिनुते गिरिवरविन्द्यशिरोदिनि वासिनि विष्णुविलासिनि जिष्णुनुते भगवति हेशितिकण्ठकुटुम्बिनि भूरि कुटुम्बिनि भूरि कृते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते सुरवरवर्षिणि दुर्धरदर्शिनि दुर्मुखमर्षिणि हर्षरते त्रिभुवनपोषिणि शङ्करतोषिणि किल्बिषमोषिनि घोषरते धनुजनि रोषिनि दितिसुतरोषिनि दुर्मथतोषिनि सिन्धुसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते
Hi guys, thank you for joining the live stream. Let me know if the audio is coming fine or not. So, hi Naruto-kun. He's saying, I've got it yesterday, meaning the book, Tipu Sultan by Vikram Sampath. Really excited to read it. Next review, Boast the Deception, declassified by Chandrachud Ghosh. I'm sorry to say, guys, I'm not really interested in that book because I'm halfway through Conundrum and I've been following Anudhar and Chandrachud Ghosh's work since 2012-13. Okay, like that's about 9 years before I turned a right-winger in the first place, because Netaji has some support in Bengal forever, no, regardless of whether you are right-winger or not, at least among the kids and adolescent people and the young adults and stuff. So I am absolutely convinced that Gumnami Baba was Netaji. So I don't see why reading another book will convince me further. Maybe I'll just find out even crazier and stuff and few more nuggets and tidbits here and there, which further prove that Gumnami Baba was in fact Netaji, but I'm convinced already, so I won't spend money or time on that book. Yoga Janaki Raman is saying, Jai Shri Ram from Tamil Nadu Bhaiya. Oh, nice. Jai Shri Ram. Rohan is saying, Ajke live callers nebe. Yes, Rohan. Today we'll take live callers to discuss whether if you want to share your thoughts on the book, if you've gone through the book a bit, the Tipu Sultan book, or what you think of the US election Trump victory, and which I think is probably the beginning of the end of the this commie leftist liberalism is, I mean, leftism, anything leftist progressive is definitely good. That kind of thinking, world order, that this is the beginning of the end of that, those kinds of thinking. Arup Ratan Mitro, hi, yeah, thank you. Shomotanu is saying, Dada Trumper joyer jonno apnake জাতীয়তাবাদী হবে না আমাদের সবার নৈতিক জয় আজকে pin the link. I did pin the link. RS, can you see it though? Krishna Rajuria is saying, hi bro, hi. Ash Ketchum is saying, it's now confirmed that John Oliver is an unwashed yeah, Trump dada jeet gayi. Trump wins bhai, yes. Mitrokhin archives boita kemon? I've heard of it somewhere. I don't know exactly what it is. Jai Shri Ram from Anga. Where is Anga? Do you mean Andhra? Oh, meaning Anga. So the Anga and Banga. Yeah. Ninar Jai Shri Ram. Trump ka jaat kya hai do? So his surname was Drumpf. So find out what profession were the surname Drumpf people in. He was from Germany. Very sad today, Indian American Kamala has lost. A sad day for India. Trump wins, yes. Ansha Kumara Ghanashyam. Yes, Anga and Banga, yeah. So, first, guys, we'll get to Tipu Sultan only first, but just to set the tone for the day, just to get things in the forefront, first and foremost. The day Elon Musk bought Twitter, that's the day I still remember, because I was so happy about it. Sanjay Dikshit, who is the sort of the Hindutva boomer uncle, but Sanjay Dikshit repeatedly has forever surprised me with his absolutely non-boomer takes on political issues, on social issues, on right-wing values, etc. Okay, I think the only time Sanjay Dikshit has disappointed me in the like 3.5 years I've been following him is when he got pissed off with Sanjeev Sanyal for criticizing and making fun of the bureaucracy and people getting into bureaucracy so harshly, that's the only time Sanjay Dixit disappointed me. But I like him even then, even for that point as well, because he has forever been harshly critical of the bureaucracy himself, being from the bureaucracy himself. Okay, so he said that Elon Musk buying Twitter is the same as the fall of the Berlin Wall. And then I was hugely disappointed with a lot of Indian right wingers. Uh, what can I say? The only phrase that comes to mind is ungrateful assholes, maybe, because I'll get to the because later. They were saying that, you know, some people, everyone whose reach goes down for some other reason, or who is just maybe not saying anything cool enough, immediately complains that they are getting shadow banned. Okay, everyone from all political aisle, all sides of the political aisle has some time or the other complained that someone or the other, some social media or the other, is definitely shadow banning them. तो अब कोई सिग्निफिकेंट बहुत ही बड़ा कंट्रोवर्शियल नेम के साथ अगर ये सब हो जाए तो it's still understandable. Every fucking Tom, Dick and Harry from time to time complains that they have been specifically shadow banned. Okay, so for some random Indian right winger guy who was getting shadow banned apparently after Elon Musk made it the freest platform in the history of mankind, that guy was saying, and a lot of people were agreeing with him, that you see, Elon Musk, be very careful of India. If you are not careful with us, we can ban you from India. Are laude. So where are we going to share our views? On some app created by organizer or coup? Okay, this is this is an insane view that I have not seen among anyone except the Indian right wing. Maybe I need to increase my purview a little more. But they have this idea that since we are not being allowed inside specific spaces, we have to create our own spaces. तो भाई माइंड कैसे चेंज होगा? कौन पढ़ेगा वो? हम खुद क्या ट्विटर में घुसना बंद कर देंगे? यूट्यूब अगर कल बंद होता है और या फिर हम बॉयकॉट करते हैं या मोदी को गुस्सा कि यूट्यूब को निकाल देता है, तो हम क्या मतलब एक सिर्फ कोई राइट विंग का वीडियो प्लेटफॉर्म में जाके सिर्फ वही पे दिन बिताएंगे और कोई वैरायटी ऑफ वीडियोस नहीं देखेंगे? तो the amount of idiotic ungratefulness that some people of the Indian right wing showed for a while to Elon Musk pissed me off. But remember, without Elon Musk buying Twitter, there was going to be no Trump victory. There was not going to be no real data coming out about Israel being the victim of the October 7th attack, or the stuff that Israel found out from the UNRWA camps and rescue missions and stuff, how half of their employees were involved with Hamas and stuff, all the tunnels, where were their bases, etc. Our narrative against Canada, okay, the day Trudeau first accused India of doing things that USA has always done, all those narratives, none of that, okay, maybe Modi's victory in 2024, none of that happens if Elon Musk does not buy Twitter. Okay, so with that in mind, for other viewers who want to join, remember, Mysterious Sociologist is already in the queue. Okay, he also wants to join the discussion. And yeah, I want to mention another thing, because since Christoph Lies-a-Lot is here, this reminds me, he had actually predicted that Trump is going to win. And I had been going on telling him that no, Kamala is going to win. And this is the first and last time I trust NRI Bengalis with American politics. I have never trusted them. I did not trust them until like last 5, 6, 7 months. Okay, and that was a huge mistake on my part. I have always had this notion that NRI Bengalis don't know any fucking thing about USA except that the fucking alley they live in, and I was absolutely right. And even then I did some bullshit self-introspection, self-questioning, which ended up being pointless self-doubt. And I thought that, okay, these guys who obviously don't follow politics, and majority of people all over the world in the history of mankind in every society don't really follow politics. Okay, the majority never follows politics. Okay, it's a few crazy people, hobbyists, or the people who want to get into the power dynamics and stuff. They are the ones who really follow politics day in and day out. So I thought these NRIs who are not following politics at all, have no fucking clue what's going on, are really happy with Kamala, and they want Kamala to win because they don't know anything I know. Okay, each and every insane thing they say about Trump, I just calmly say that, okay, Google it, show me where Trump has done this, show me where Trump has said this, and then they spend 15-20 minutes and then they come out with nothing. So even then they were happy with whatever Kamla was trying to sell them. So I thought maybe that's how the majority of the country is then, who do 2-3 jobs in a day and don't really follow politics all that much. Maybe they are also happy with Kamla in that way, in that same way. Then they only follow New York Times, Washington Post, some headlines, and get a vibe of Kamla and a vibe of Trump. So therefore maybe Kamla is winning. And I was wrong. And I was right earlier on. NRIs know fucking nothing about, especially maybe NRI Bengalis, since I don't know any other NRI except NRI Bengalis. They don't know one fucking single thing about USA. They don't know anything about anything other than a bit of coding, I think, which hopefully they will get replaced in professions. They will be replaced by Latinos doing handling AI. So we'll take Professor Lizelot a little later. It's not a gigantic introduction that we are going to get into. There's a small 2-page prologue and a bit of a foreword by S.L. Bhairappa. Okay, so let me give you a basic vibe of the book. This is a gigantic book. Okay, it's 919 pages. We probably know what size underwear Tipu Sultan wore. We know everything beginning with that to how he died. It's from Penguin. At the back of the book, the price tag says 1499 rupees. And frankly, I don't remember how much I paid for it, because I bought it so long, about I think 1.5 months back, I ordered it. So huge fucking book. So I was joking about it on Twitter that on the battlefield, if we ever meet Tipu Sultan in some other world, or if Tipu Sultan was actually faced with someone holding a book on him, we could have killed Tipu Sultan with this book itself by throwing this at his head. So this is a nice cover. Now the most fascinating and surprising part is that this starts with an endorsement by Shashi Tharoor. He says, engaging and remarkably written. The book is called The Saga of Mysore's Interregnum, and I don't know what that word means. Tab to acha hi hoga. It's in such advanced English. Now, one guy in the audience was saying that he has already gone through the first 2-3 chapters, okay, and it's incredibly lucidly written according to him. Now, I haven't read anything by Vikram Sampath ever in my life, so unfortunately, I don't know how well or how badly he writes. And people have been wondering why I have not read his Savarkar books as of yet. See, some books, no, the content inside those books get disseminated in societies to so well and to such extents that the book kind of becomes irrelevant at the end of the day, because मतलब सावरकर को लेकर जितना चर्चा हुआ है राइट विंग में, आई एम नॉट श्योर कुछ ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट कुछ जानना बाकी है. So what I'm doing is instead reading Barclay's work from a legit credentialed historian who is ending up criticizing the bullshit and let's say debunking the bullshit allegations against Savarkar. So I guess that helps me debate commies more regarding Savarkar. So I'm prioritizing that book. So I'm not going to read Savarkar's the 2-volume Savarkar by Sampath. Now another example is, let's say today in 2024, I won't recommend Land of Seven Rivers by Sanjeev Sanyal to anyone, you know, especially if it's not a commie. Okay, if it's a brand new fucking commie who's just curious what's going on in this Sanghi Chaddi side, to them I'll still recommend Land of Seven Rivers, but not to any single right winger, because all of you all know everything, almost everything Sanjeev Sanyal has written based on Instagram reels, other historians, Abhijit Chavda, everything. Okay, but those things were started by Sanjeev Sanyal back in 2013-14. Okay, तो but वो information अब disseminate हो गया है, अब वो पुस्तक पढ़ के ज़्यादा फायदा नहीं है. So that's why I'm not going to read Sampath's Savarkar books. But Tipu Sultan, the only things I know about him are from my school days and the things Sanjeev Sanyal pointed out, how horrific his rule was. But Sanjeev Sanyal also said in Land of Seven Rivers that in the end he really died like a brave hero and stuff. But he did bad things. That much Sanjeev Sanyal mentioned in a short paragraph. But then Sampath comes out with 919 pages of it. So at the back, the blurb says, Tipu Sultan, a brave soldier, a failed strategist, and a bigoted ruler, was one of the most controversial figures in India's history. Was he a war hero or a freedom fighter? How was his social report card? This definitive biography of Tipu Sultan throws light on all this and much more. And I definitely trust Sampath to be absolutely as fair as possible, as humanly possible, as unbiased as humanly possible. And you see, this coming out from Penguin again, this is so beautiful, so significant. So I hope you all save up. Even if you don't read, do buy the book at least, because the publishers need to get the signal that there's a market for these kinds of books. Now, there are 4 people who have given sort of testimonials about the book. Okay, 3 out of those 4 people are Bengalis. And one of them is the recently departed Bibek Debroy. Bibek Debroy said, Vikram gives us the bare truth so that we can make up our minds about the legacy of an individual who continues to be controversial. Then, Shopon Dasgupta, he says, this book is an example of how narrative history should be written. Then is someone called, okay, he's from the Mysore royal family, okay. Yaduvir Krishnadatta Chamaraja Wadiyar. I don't know if it's pronounced Wadiyar or not. I've seen the spelling to be Wadiyar as of up until now. Here I'm seeing it's spelled as Wadiyar. I guess his family were the ones who donated land for the famous STEM university or college in Bangalore, right? IIRC or something it's called, where Three Idiots was shot. So he has said, Sampath does the much needed work of telling the true story of Tipu, from his fanatical views to the mistakes he made that eroded the sizable state his father built. Okay, and then Sanjeev Sanyal. He says, public debate will continue, but Vikram's excellent book will provide the basis for more informed discussion. Well said. There's a short blurb here on this side as well. I'll read that out as well. Over 2 centuries have passed since his death on 4th May 1799, yet Tipu Sultan's contested legacy continues to perplex India and her contemporary politics. An enigmatic figure in India's military past, he remains a modern historian's biggest puzzle, as he simultaneously means different things to different people, depending on how one chooses to look at his life and his events. Sounds like Savarkar. Tipu's ascent to power was accidental. His father Hyder Ali was a beneficiary of the benevolence of the Maharaja of Mysore, lol. But in a series of fascinating events, the Machiavellian Hyder ran with the hare and hunted with the hounds. He ended up overthrowing his own benefactor and usurping the throne of Mysore from the Wadiyars in 1761. In a war-scarred life, father and son led Mysore through 4 momentous battles against the British, termed the Anglo-Mysore Wars. The first 2, led by Hyder, brought the English East India Company to its knees. Chasing the enemy to the very gates of Madras, Hyder made the British sign humiliating terms of treaties that sent shockwaves back in London. In the hubris of this success, Tipu obtained the kingdom on a platter. Unlike his father, who worked up the ranks to achieve glory, in a diabolical war thirst, Tipu launched lethal attacks on Malabar, Mangalore, Travancore, and Coorg, leaving behind a trail of death, destruction, and wars, mass conversions, and the desecration of places of worship. While he was an astute administrator and a brave soldier, the strategic tact with opponents and the diplomatic balance that Hyder had sought to maintain with the Hindu majority were both dangerously upset by Tipu's foolhardiness on matters of faith. The social report card of this 18th century ruler was anything but clean, and yet one simply cannot deny his position as a renowned military warrior and one of the most powerful rulers of southern India. See, this is called balanced, fair writing. Meticulously researched, the authoritative and unputdownable Tipu Sultan opens a window to the life and times of one of the most debated figures of India's history. Advance praise for the book. Who is this by? Oh, these are the stuff we already discussed. Forward by S.L. Bhairappa. We'll read that. This is dedicated to for my doting parents who have always been my inspiration and pillars of strength and the perennial wind beneath my wings. Forward by Mr. S.L. Bhairappa, okay? I have read a great deal of history on the quote-unquote legend Tipu Sultan since my childhood. I am happy that I got an opportunity to read one more book on Tipu Sultan authored by historian Dr. Vikram Sampath and to write the foreword for the same. Before I elaborate, I can only say that among the many books that I have read on the subject, this book is exceptional, for it is an exhaustive, intense, and well-researched book with factual accounts and a captivating narrative style. As I was reading this book, my memories went back to the articles I had written in a leading Kannada daily long ago when controversy erupted in Karnataka over the celebration of Tipu Sultan's birth anniversary, Jayanti. These articles give a critical view of Tipu Sultan's rule and legacy, covering religious persecution, forcible conversion, and its impact on our culture. During 1969 to 1970, the central government under Indira Gandhi, with a mission to integrate the nation through education, had established a committee under the chairmanship of G. Parthsarathi, a diplomat who was close to the Nehru-Gandhi family. At that time, no surprises. Today again, our viewer Winnie the Pooh was complaining that Bibek Debroy, who is stupid according to him, and just a Sanghi who failed PhD, He was made the head of ISI, a coveted position held by so many respectable Bengalis in yesteryears. Has been given to that position has been given to Vivek Debroy, and just for being a Sanghi. So, not knowing the countless research papers and working papers that has been written by Vivek Debroy, of course. But you see, all of these things, connections and stuff, are happening for the first time in India, in the last 5 years. So, at that time, I was a reader in philosophy of education at NCERT and was selected as part of the 5-member committee. In the first meeting, Mr. Parthsarathi explained the purpose of the meeting in his typical diplomatic polite language. Quote, he said, "It is our duty to remove thorns from the minds of the growing children, which will shape us as barriers for the national integration. But we will keep funding madrasas where those thorns will be reinculcated. Such thorns are mostly seen in history lessons. We can find them occasionally in the lessons of language, social science, and history. We have to weed out such thorns so that we can fund it in other places. We have to include only such thoughts that will inculcate the concept of national integration," which basically, remember, Vikram Sampath versus Shashi Tharoor debate 2022. Vikram Sampath pushes. Shashi Tharoor finally admits that yes, we had to make up our own bullshit history in the interest of nation building. Concept of national integration in the minds of our children. This committee has this great responsibility, end quote. When other members were nodding their heads respectfully, I politely questioned him, "Sir, I cannot understand what you said. Will you please explain with some illustrations?" He started saying, "Ghazni Muhammad looted Somnath temple. Aurangzeb built the mosques by demolishing the temples in Kashi and Mathura. He collected jizya, etc. How do such useless facts help build a strong India other than creating hatred in the minds?" End quote. Which is why we will fund madrasas. When I said, "But they are historical truths," he replied, "Plenty of truths are there." Beyond good and evil, bhai Nidji ka bacha. Plenty of truths are there. To use these truths with discrimination is the wisdom of the historians. I added, "Sir, you gave examples of Kashi and Mathura. Even now, lakhs of people visit these places from nooks and corners of the country as pilgrims. They see huge mosques built using the same walls, pillars, and columns of the demolished temples. Behind the mosque, they also see a cowshed-like structure built recently in a corner that represents our temple. The pilgrims are disturbed to witness such awful structures. They describe the plight of their feelings. They describe the plight of their temples to their relatives after they return home. Do you think such feelings can create national integration? One can hide the history in school texts, but can we hide such facts when the school children visit the place as part of the excursion? The researchers have listed more than 30,000 such ruined temples in India. Can we hide them all?" Mr. Parthsarathi interrupted me by saying, "You are a professor of philosophy. Please tell us what is the purpose of history." I explained, "Nobody can define the purpose of history. We do not know how things will shape up in future because of the advancement in science and technology." What a beautiful way to answer this, right, guys? See, this is not definitive. This is not absolutist. Remember what Nietzsche said? That the love of irony is a sign of good mental health. Obsession with absolutism is a sign of pathology. So you see, he is not, S.L. Bhairappa is not obsessed with, see, we will do this and this will happen. If we don't do this, ye bhosri ka ho jayega, okay? Gabbar aa jayega. वैसा नहीं है. S.L. Bhairappa is saying, I don't know what will happen. How are we supposed to know? And उतने साल पहले, जबकि मतलब इतना फास्ट कंपाउंडिंग भी नहीं था टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट का. Some Western thinkers, S.L. Bhairappa continues, some Western thinkers might have called it the philosophy of history, but such thoughts are futile. Our discussion here should be, what is the purpose of teaching history? History is seeking the truth about our past events and learning about ancient human lives by studying the inscriptions, records, literary works, relics, artifacts, and so on. Historical truths help us understand and learn the noble qualities that our ancestors adopted during their times. But then he interrupts, Mr. Parthsarathi interrupts and says, can we hurt the feelings of the minority? Can we divide the society? Can we sow the seeds of poison, which we will do anyway by funding madrasas? He stopped my explanation by asking such questions. My line of argument was quite clear. Categorization on the lines of majority and minority would itself result in the division of society. It may be a strategy adopted to divide society for political gains. This idea of quote-unquote seeds of poison is prejudiced. Why should the minority think of Ghazni, Muhammad or Aurangzeb as their own people? यही तो भोसरी के आज तक कोई उत्तर नहीं दे पाया. तुम्हारा आइडल भाई ए.आर. रहमान है तुम्हारे रिलीजन में, और क्या चाहिए तुमको? हाँ, कलाम है, तुमको औरंगजेब का लंड लेके चूसना है हमेशा हमेशा के लिए, और ए.आर. रहमान को भूल जाओ। और जब कोई राइट विंगर आके बोलेगा कि नो, मतलब वी हैव सम प्रॉब्लम्स विद द वे थिंग्स आर बीइंग डन इनसाइड मद्रासा, तब बोलेगा नो नो, यू सी ऑल मुस्लिम्स आर नॉट बैड, सी ए रहमान प्रपोजेस सच, मेक सच गुड म्यूजिक। तो बेंचो खुद याद रखो ना। तो दिस आइडिया ऑफ सीड्स ऑफ पॉइजन इज प्रेजुडिस्ड. Why should the minority think of Ghazni Muhammad or Aurangzeb as their own people? Many kingdoms were destroyed by the religious bigotry of Aurangzeb, as mentioned by Rabindranath Thakur in Japan Jatri as well. By the way, I forgot to mention yesterday that in that book launch of Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, there was one fantastic history professor. I don't remember his name. He also pointed out that Rabindranath Thakur's views on history, what history is, was exactly word for word what Chandranath Boshu, the writer of the book called Hindutva, the author of the book called Hindutva, said that this is history. Okay, by which logic today's Indian right wingers argue that Mahabharata and Ramayana are history. Okay, that was just our way of telling history. We will spice it up with a bit of magic and fantastical things. But इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो हिस्ट्री नहीं है. Okay, Rabindranath Tagore believed in exact that view. So anyway, many kingdoms were destroyed by the religious bigotry of Aurangzeb. The Mughal Empire was at its pinnacle because of Akbar, who favored religious harmony. We should teach such lessons to the children without offending or hiding the historical truths. These ideals of hiding history are due to political reasons. If education does not impart the intellectual power to face the truth and build emotional maturity, then such education is meaningless. आहा, emotional maturity, ये कैसा डिमांड हो गया? इंडिया में ये सब डिमांड करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. I strongly reiterate, teaching history that is not based on truth is dangerous. Since my stand irked the chairman, the committee was restructured after some time, and my name was promptly deleted. But you see, Vivek Debroy becoming the head of ISI is end of the world. Surprisingly, in my place, a lecturer in history with leftist ideals was included. It was unfortunate that history books for school students were once dominated by Marxist historians, and they always suppressed the truth. And when they spoke the truth on casteism, leftists themselves hid those facts. When reviewed, one can observe how members belonging to this group had schemes to invade the minds of growing children. For instance, students were not told how Muslim invaders destroyed the universities of Nalanda, Vikramshila, Jagaddala, Odantapura, etc., and the brutal killings of the Buddhist monks, the worst catastrophe suffered by Buddhism in India. The method adopted by the communists, who were unable to come out of the clutches of Marxism, the very basis of their identity, was to systematically appoint people in the universities who were loyal to their theories. यह है कॉमीज का ब्राह्मण भोजन, जो कि मोदी ने आज तक किया नहीं है, क्योंकि उनके दिमाग में घुस नहीं रहा है कि ब्राह्मण भोजन जरूरी है. ब्राह्मण भोजन के बिना कोई भी स्टेट हमेशा ज्यादा देर तक नहीं चलता है, या फिर इंपैक्ट करके नहीं जा सकता है, कभी भी नहीं हुआ है. They were expected to present their theories through newspapers, television and other media. और राइट विंग को लगता है हम सिर्फ सब बैठ के ऑर्गेनाइजर में लिखेंगे. Get appreciative critiques for the books written by their quote-unquote favorite authors. Devise plans to dispel the writers from the opposite group. In addition, they would spread leftist views through frequent seminars and attract young minds, get teaching positions in universities. देखो कितना examples of Brahmin Bhojan. The Communist Party's stand on truth became the gospel for its members. The best example that I can mention here is Russian books published by the communists and sold at cheaper rates in India and other countries. During the freedom struggle, Lavani singers who were skilled in oral, RS is asking, when will you take MS on screen? After this forward finishes, okay? There's just 2 more pages left. During the freedom struggle, Lavani singers who were skilled in oral renditions but often lacked formal education used to sing with an instrument called damadi, exaggerating Tipu Sultan. Some Muslim merchants encouraged these singers by giving them money. Tipu's reputation grew largely due to his opposition to British rule. He was painted as a patriot and dramas were performed to praise him. The audience believed this false narrative as true history. Marxists, politicians concerned with vote banks, Muslim artists, drama writers and directors, filmmakers portrayed him as a national leader in post-independence India. True history lost its life. I have often written and lectured that authors of historical novels have the moral responsibility to present historical facts without distortions. Followers of Tipu described the British as inhumane, highlighting their demand that Tipu surrender his children to them as hostages till he paid them their huge war indemnity. With this, it is claimed that a culture that entertained the surrendering of small kids as quote-unquote war prisoners took birth. But what actually made Tipu surrender his children as war prisoners? The British demanded huge amount of money as their war expenditure. Since Tipu did not have enough money readily, he offered to keep his two young sons with the British. He promised that he would keep his two young sons and he would get them back after he could arrange the cash. If Tipu was in the place of the British, he would have converted their children into Islam. But the British retained their original religion and were affectionate towards them. It is not a new thing that many politicians address Tipu as a great son of Karnataka. During the rule of the Wadiyar dynasty, Kannada was the official language, but Tipu removed Kannada and changed the official language to Farsi or Persian. Since I belong to the family of Shanu Bhogas, who were part of the revenue department of Old Mysuru, I personally know the Kannada terminologies of the department. Tipu either added or changed Kannada terminologies to Farsi, like Khathe, Khardi, Pahani, Khani Sumari, Gudasta, Takhte, Thari, Khushki, lice in Bengali, Bagayatu, Banjaru, Jamabandi, Ahavalu, Khavandu, Amaldar. Remember, anything ending with dar is a Persian servant name. Okay, something to do with some kind of serving for the Persian, some Muslim court, king's court. Okay, Amaldar, Shirastedar. In Bengali, it's called Sheresta, Shirastedar, etc. Tipu did not stop there. He even changed the original names of the places. So Brahmapuri was changed as Sultanpet, Kozhikode of Kerala to Farukabad, Chitradurga to Farukhiyab Hisar, Kodagu to Jafarabad, Devanahalli to Yusuf Khan, Dindigal to Khalilabad, Gutti to Faiz Hisar, Krishnagiri to Falkil Azam, Mysuru to Nazarabad, Penugonda to Fakrabad, Sankridurga to Muzifarabad, Sira to Rustumabad, Sakaleshpura to Manjarabad, and so on. But we can't change names now. The question that revolves in our minds is whether all these actions of Tipu show his nationalism, loyalty to Kannada language, and tolerance of other religions. As I delved into the historical archives surrounding Tipu Sultan, I stumbled upon a fascinating collection that sheds new light on this controversial figure in Indian history. The Dreams of Tipu Sultan, a series of papers recovered by British Colonel William Kirkpatrick from the Srirangapatna Palace following Tipu's demise in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War of 1799, offers an unfiltered glimpse into the mind of the Sultan himself. These documents, penned in Farsi by Tipu, provide what I believe to be the most compelling and direct evidence of his religious fervor and political aspirations. Kirkpatrick's partial translations alongside the original manuscripts are now preserved in the India Office in London, serving as a testament to their historical significance. This collection offers readers a rare opportunity to hear Tipu Sultan's voice directly, unfiltered by the lens of either his admirers or detractors. It presents a complex picture of a ruler driven by religious zeal and expansionist dreams, compelling us to reassess our understanding of this ruler in Indian history. What struck me most about these writings is the stark terminology Tipu employed. He consistently referred Hindus as kafirs or infidels and the British as Christians, revealing a theology and worldview deeply rooted in religious distinctions. He had an unbridled zeal for converting non-Muslims to Muslims and non-Muslim states to Muslim states. In this entire book of his dreams, there is no mention or an iota of his thought of quote-unquote how to modernize India or Mysore. Tipu's only mission was to throw out the British from India, as he felt they were a major obstacle for him. It is unfortunate that quote-unquote secularists portrayed Tipu as a great religiously tolerant person and as a freedom fighter. A man who took the support of the equally colonial and imperialist French and invited Zaman Shah of Afghanistan, the Caliph of Turkey, and the Shah of Persia to invade India and establish a Muslim caliphate cannot be a freedom fighter. Another aspect of Tipu Sultan's rule that warrants critical examination in his approach to education, often cited as evidence of his progressive stance. However, a closer look reveals a more complex picture. While Muslims in Malabar and Tamil Nadu have maintained their linguistic connections to Malayalam and Tamil, respectively, the Muslim population in Karnataka primarily speaks Urdu. This linguistic shift can be directly attributed to Tipu's policies, I see, which mandated Farsi and Urdu as the sole permitted mediums of instruction. When Tipu looted the Mysore palace in 1796, he ordered to burn all the valuable and rare books and manuscripts, palm leaves that contained priceless handwritten notes to cook horse gram for his horses, and other files kept in the palace library. There are plenty of references in, for instance, the Malabar Manual by William Logan about the cruel military operations and Islamic atrocities of Tipu Sultan in Malabar, forcible mass circumcision and conversion, large scale killings, looting, and destruction of hundreds of Hindu temples, and other barbarities like gang raping helpless women. There were hundreds of such incidents mentioned in various documents. It is impossible to reinforce nationalism based on the false picturization of history. This extremely well researched and interesting book by Vikram Sampath, Tipu Sultan, The Tale of the Mysore Interregnum, is a result of extensive historical research. The long list of references, variety of sources, citations, and bibliography make it amply clear that he has stayed true to his craft and conscience as a historian. The book covers many known and hitherto unknown aspects of Tipu Sultan's legacy and stormy rule. Authors should enjoy complete liberty while writing serious historical books with ample reference to the inscriptions, records, relics, excavations, and other evidences. Vikram has succeeded in this, just as he has in all his earlier books. He's an exception in the sense that while on the one hand he is loyal to the historical facts, he has also ably interpreted these historical evidences independently, and more importantly, put his plethora of research findings in an interesting narrative that is sure to captivate every reader. I am sure this book will be a highly acclaimed and a definitive work on Tipu Sultan, and discerning readers will accept it as an authentic and unbiased version of Tipu's history. My warm blessings to Vikram to continue on his chosen path of fearlessly bringing to the fore honest and unbiased scholarship in Indian historiography. 15th August 2024, SL Bhairappa, Mysuru. There's a prologue and stuff that you all should read on your own. Please buy this book. See, it's such a nice effort and work of history. Now, let's bring in our guests. First, let's have Christoph Lieselot. Are you here, Christoph Lieselot? The headphone is not on, so you keep speaking. I'll keep the book properly and then I'll start talking. So, give us your reactions on the Trump victory.
और reaction क्या है? मतलब basically, I had predicted to you. Yesterday, Nina was going on asking what my predictions would be. But I thought I'm, Panoti, so I don't want to kind of, jinx it, right? That's why I refrained from making any proper comments yesterday. But as you know, in our numerous attempts to understand American elections, when we talk personally, I did tell you that a few factors would help Trump, a bunch of factors. And that seems to have worked, I guess. I was also following like Stephen Turley, other kind of Nate Silver, other kind of people who were predicting the elections pretty well in the past. Not to mention, I was also following inflation data from the US, because I'm seeing that prices of things were so high that it kind of made it into a class war of sorts. So that thing
it's basically really a class war.
Yeah. So when you kept saying that, blacks, Latinos, this, that, whatever, I knew that the price rise in recent times would really help Trump, because Kamala couldn't just brush it off. She was responsible for it. And what actually also helped was when they made New York, New Jersey, and other blue cities, Chicago and all, they became kind of sanctuary cities for immigrants. Then the blacks and Latinos who were settled there, they got angry. So, that these all were factors. Another factor was that I felt was that, and this I've been telling you for a while now, but see, the advantage of America is the immigrants there, the primary identity of the immigrants there is not race. You have to understand that the primary identity of the immigrants will, except the blacks, their race has been particularly targeted in history, so that makes a sense. Even that is being kind of broken in this election greatly. But having said that, the Latinos many of them are conservative Christians. When they come over to the US, they don't follow this woke ideology and stuff or racial politics as much as you would think they do. Plus, they have all escaped socialism, so they don't want a sasta version of socialism back in the US when they enter. Okay, so that's the whole reason I knew that even if the US continues to have tons of immigrants, it's not as easy for them to rig elections with immigrants as it would be in, let's say, in Europe or India, because in Europe or India, because the religion of the immigrants are very different from the religion of the people, original people, so-called original people of Europe and whatever, and India as well. It's not as easy for you to conflate the US thing in India. But in US, because the most of the immigrants are from a similar belief system, it was easier for them to amalgamate beyond race, okay, and work for Trump. So that helps Trump, basically.
Hmm. Now, the main question on the minds of our audience is, of course, and we'll have to take them as well, and we'll have to kick you out soon. Which
uh,
is that, what do you think are the good and bad implications for India with Trump's victory? Because we were going to have some benefits of Kamala winning, of course, because Kamala, in my opinion, Kamala would weaken USA to such an extent, and a weaker USA is not going to be that big of a threat. Therefore, तो मतलब हमेशा हमेशा के लिए यूएसए में लेट्स से इंडिया फ्रेंडली लोग तो नहीं आएंगे, और इंडिया से भी ऐसे पीएम्स हमेशा नहीं बनेंगे जिसको इंडिया का कुछ मतलब फायदा देखना है. तो who knows what kind of people come in, but when, let's say, bad people come to the power once again in maybe both India and USA, we don't want a strong USA then. So Kamala would have been beneficial for us in that way, because she would fuck the hell out of USA. But on the other hand, Trump making a stronger USA will benefit us in other ways and create problems for us in other ways. What are your views on this?
no, see, I don't think Kamala. See, for me, what this represents is essentially how far they are going to irk this region, South Asia. How far they are going to do ungli, basically. If Trump is America first, which means he will focus on internal dynamics more and stuff, and that means he'll basically ignore the rest of the world for the time being, then that works for us for now. But we have to expect. No, now I am not an expert of de-dollarization and stuff like that. I honestly don't know enough about de-dollarization to know what might be the effect of that happening eventually. Okay. Now, the thing is, what I understand is, because Bangladesh was not a student protest technically. I won't go into details of that. We've discussed that. Many people, Deep Haldar and all these people have discussed that in detail. And remember one thing: the BJP won pretty much landslides by landslides in the last election before the Lok Sabha 24 election. Okay, what happened in the Lok Sabha 24 election is still a mystery, in my opinion. And in some parts of the country, there were some problems, I would say. Anyway, so these kind of things, student movement, so-called student movement in Bangladesh, that kind of thing. So that basically destabilizes this region. That's all we can pray and hope does not happen. But will that not happen? That is the main question now. Will that stop once Trump is in power? I don't know. His track record says that he did stop funding Pakistan and all that. So that may still continue. But in the long run, I don't know. In the long run, what American foreign policy will yield for us, I have no idea.
No, I mean
Okay.
just the Trump presidency, the next 4 years.
Trump presidency, will it be 4 years? Let's see. Anyway, so I don't know. Okay, let's say as long as Trump is president, let's say
Yeah.
hopefully 4 years. Then I think what will happen is there will be a retraction of certain American interests back into the US for a while now. Maybe initially that will be the case, because Trump doesn't want to disturb the BRICS thing. As far as I can understand, he's not really against the BRICS thing happening here, and I
He
think he
has
does.
quad to show off his friendship with
Yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
anyway. He doesn't have to
Precisely.
bother about bricks.
So that I guess it's good. I don't know. I again don't want to predict a lot because this is US.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anything can happen. The presidential candidate was almost shot twice, so I don't
Hmm.
know. Anything can happen. People like JFK got killed. You don't know what's gonna happen, right? Abraham
And
Lincoln was.
Vivek is pro dollarization anyway.
Vivek bhi hai, and as you mentioned, even Biden's cabinet had that one dude, right?
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
de-dollarization dude.
His
So
main
I
economic
guess,
advisor was a
huh,
sort of a
I
chief
guess
mind
Ankit
behind
Shah will,
de-dollarization.
like, much more than what I say. It will be more important to see what Ankit Shah or somebody like that says.
Hmm.
I usually, what I understand of elections is emotions and how that works. I guess whatever little I do,
Hmm.
um, and I had predicted correctly some elections. So some people ask me, as you do, and I think this one I got right. I didn't get a lot of them right as well.
Even a
So
broken
maybe
clock is right twice a day.
I was দাঁড়া তোকে পরে ফোন করছি ঠিক আছে you take other
But you
callers.
see, yeah,
I'll deal with you later. I'll send some
this is a
TMC guys
call for violence. You are going to get my channel demonetized by threatening me only.
I'm not threatening you directly. I will just call you up later.
Handle you.
I'll I'll tell the local TMC guys your location. Anyway, ठीक है चलो. You guys discuss. I'll listen in and
Yeah,
remember
and you can join later as well.
mysterious sociologist supremacy. Remember that.
Yeah.
मतलब I got
Yes.
one election wrong and one election right. So
Yes.
far
1-1.
1-1
Yes.
चल रहा है.
Yeah.
ठीक है चलो.
So Nina is saying something which a lot of people have been bothered about, which is Trump's views on Trump's thoughts on the वो tariff issue. Okay, now on the tariff issue, I agree with हमारे वो Major Gauravari. Okay, let me show you what his views are on this tariff issue. See, first and foremost, I really hate the idea of protectionism, I'm in favor of national libertarianism. Okay, and which has an aspect of economic nationalism, but it can't be at the cost of that. I mean, going back to the ambassador चुतियापा. Okay, कि हम इंडिया के कंपनी को बूस्ट करने के लिए घटिया भोसरी वाला गाड़ी यूज करेंगे और अच्छे गाड़ी को 4 गुना दाम पे यहाँ पे बेचा जाएगा ताकि इंडिया के बेचारे बेचारे इंडियन कैपिटलिस्ट का भला हो. भाई फ्री मार्केट का मेन प्रीरिक्विजिट है कंपटीशन. हम अपने आप को बोलते हैं कि हम सोशलिज्म के अगेंस्ट है, हम कैपिटलिज्म के फेवर में हैं, हम फ्री मार्केट कंपटीशन के फेवर में है और कैपिटलिस्ट हमेशा चूतिए लोग नहीं है, तो हम ये भी नहीं बोल सकते हैं कि कैपिटलिस्ट बेचारे इंडियन क्यूट चीक्स वाले इंडियन कैपिटलिस्ट, उनको बचाने के लिए हमको घटिया लैपटॉप यूज करना है, उनको बचाने के लिए हमको घटिया प्रोटीन पाउडर यूज करते. सी आई यूज्ड टू बी अ ह्यूज फैन ऑफ दैट ब्रिटिश ब्रांड. मैंने इतने दिन से नहीं खरीदा है, मैं नाम भी भूल गया. वो it's one of the leading brands of protein powders. Okay, I consume only pea protein. पी मतलब वो बंगाली में कड़ाईशुटी बोलते हैं जिसको. तो वो इंग्लैंड में मैन्युफैक्चर्ड है, मगर पूरे दुनिया में इतना उसका पॉपुलैरिटी है कि उसका प्राइस इंडियन प्रोटीन पाउडर के तरह ही होता था या फिर उससे थोड़ा कम होता था. अब मुझे तो इंडियन प्रोटीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का हाइजीन का कुछ मतलब कोई भरोसा नहीं है, तो आई यूज्ड टू ब्लाइंडली बाय दैट ओनली. अब वो धीरे धीरे गायब हो गया और उसने पी प्रोटीन बनाना बंद कर दिया, तो अब मैं इंडियन प्रोटीन पाउडर यूज करता हूं. लकीली आई नो इट डज इट्स स्टिल इफेक्टिव एंड आई हैव नॉट फेस्ड एनी हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स एंड आई कीप चेंजिंग द कंपनी ब्रांड इवन because I'm not sure which brand is adding what kind of adulterants, but I know it works because the biggest sign that you are not getting enough protein is that you are too sore the next day after a heavy workout. So I tested it. I didn't take any protein powder after doing a workout. Then I took a new protein powder by some Indian brand, and I saw that yes, my soreness is going away on the day I am taking protein powder after a heavy workout day the previous day. So yes, Indian brands are good, making good protein powders. This chair, this has been my first and foremost fascination with Indian manufacturing in the last 4-5 years. What a beautiful world class chair. I got it for $18,000. It has not broken down in about 2.5 years. I thought it would. I thought it would break down as soon as I structured it. Okay. Then that phone charger I keep telling you about. That's the first phone charger I think I have ever owned, which was not made in China. Okay. It has still not broken down. The only reason it broke down was because a friend of mine was trying out my Mudgal and hit that with my Mudgal. Okay. So Indian manufacturers are doing good things. Why the fuck do they need protection? Okay. तो अब अगर किसी के पास पैसा है, किसी को इससे भी बढ़िया कुछ चाहिए, उसको ये वो फ्रीडम नहीं होगा बेटर चीज खरीदने को इंडिया में बैठ के. ओके. क्यों नहीं होगा उसको फ्रीडम? तो इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को ये देखना चाहिए कि तुम और भी कम पैसे में और भी बेटर प्रोडक्ट्स दो. प्रोटेक्शन क्यों चाहिए तुमको? तो अगर हम प्रोटेक्शन करेंगे तो अब तो टैरिफ भी खाना पड़ेगा. कंपटीशन का सवाल है यहाँ पे. लेट मी जस्ट शो यू हमारे मेजर गौड़ा वारियर्स व्यूज ऑन जस्ट दिस एस्पेक्ट. ओके. It's not like he's saying everything exactly what I'm saying, but I'm building on his ideas as well. Because as a libertarian, I agree with that part anyway. Where's his English channel? What's it called? It just came up on my suggestion a few while back. Donald Trump wins. This is only the one, I think. Yeah, this is the one.
Adventures in foreign countries, billions and trillions of dollars. Donald Trump has.
I'll suggest, guys, before I bring other guests on, let's listen to just this second half segment. Okay, here he goes point by point about all the concerns that Indian people have about Trump coming to power. Okay, he addresses those very ably, I think. And you can't really accuse him of being a Western propaganda or deep state stooge, I hope. So let's just check out his arguments. Okay.
How is India going to be impacted? India is going to be impacted in a big way, friends, and this is precisely how India will be impacted. The impact on India is not limited to these 3 points. It is just that these are the 3 points that I've gathered from various places and my own reading of the situation. Number 1, trade. Prioritizing US interests over international agreements. This is typical Donald Trump. He says that, if I'm the president of the United States, my job is to protect American interests and American taxpayers' dollars. You can't spend money on wars in foreign countries, adventures in foreign countries, billions and trillions of dollars. Donald Trump has been anti-war from day one. And he's been saying, this doesn't concern me at all. This does not concern the United States of America. Let us not spend money on things which are thousands of kilometers away. Spend it on America. This is what he's saying. I think this is practical advice. A lot of the world is miffed with America because America wants to change the world according to its own perception, and they have this habit of interfering everywhere. Donald Trump says, no, I'm not interested in your wars. You fight your wars, all right? Unless there is America, which, a lot of the people who support Donald Trump have been saying that, who have benefited from these wars? Ukraine, Russia, or Israel, Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, generally the weapons companies, right? They've been benefiting. The people of America per se have not been benefiting. Disrupt traditional US alliances. We could discuss that in defense, but NATO is one such alliance that Donald Trump is not very fond of. We'll discuss that later. And then tariff reciprocity blames,
which is great. NATO का भोसड़ा बनना चाहिए.
China and Brazil calls India biggest charger. He says India charges duties, heavy duties on American stuff, American equipment, American vehicles, American goods and products. And he says this is not okay. From an American perspective, I don't.
Yes, I was talking about my protein. Yeah, I'm not endorsing my protein. They have not paid me, but yes, my protein, pea protein, was my go-to pea protein for about 3 years.
I think Donald Trump is wrong. He's saying India charges, Brazil and China, all of them charge so much for American goods to enter their countries. We should also charge them accordingly. There should be a level playing field. And this is going to hit Indian exports. Mind you, this is going to hit Indian exports. It could also impact IT, pharmaceuticals, and textile exports to the US. 2 things which will benefit India. Here they are. Decoupling with China could be a boon for India because the supply chains, I mentioned this, diversification of supply chains. If America actually starts pulling out of China, because America is the reason why China is so strong today. There is no other reason for China to be strong except for the fact that America and Europe put their entire money in China, and China became wealthy, and today China is buying the latest military hardware, they're upgrading their military, they're threatening the very same United States of America that made them rich in the first place, the very Europe that made them wealthy. Now, decoupling with China could be a boon for India. A lot of this stuff could shift to India. Elon Musk is talking about shifting the Tesla supply chain to India, the Tesla manufacturing to India.
Saptarshi, good question. I don't think Indian data that blatantly, overtly going into the hands of CIA, US deep state is going to be allowed by Modi, or in the future Amit Shah, Yogi, whoever becomes the PM, Himant Vishwa Sharma. These are the people we kind of have built a trust on, right? If other parties come to power, we have no fucking clue what the hell is going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that Modi, Yogi are not going to tap our phones or check out our data anyway, okay? I know they are probably anyway, okay. आज के दिन में प्राइवेसी नाम का कोई चुतिया कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है. गड्ढे में चला गया है पूरा प्राइवेसी, ठीक है. You are done with privacy, okay. You don't have any privacy. Everything you say or write on social media or over telephone, you have to assume that Amit Shah is listening. Okay. But अगर ये स्टारलिंक को दिया भी जाता है, I am sure that Modi will get something hugely pro-India, beneficial to India in return at least. That's all I can say. That's my opinion.
Hasn't happened yet, but Apple has already done it. There are so many companies from China who are saying, we want to go manufacture in India, right? It's a cleaner environment in India. The problem in China is that you never know what's going on, right? You just don't know what is going on. Is it easier to work in China? Of course it is. I'll be the first one to admit, compared to India, the ease of doing business, according to all studies that have come out, China is far ahead. But the problem in China is it's a very, very opaque society. It's a very opaque society. China manufactures something, says that this is the capability of this product, and later on, you come to know that they were lying throughout. That is what happens in China. Now, as far as immigration is concerned, one very, very big point, which will impact especially people after the H-1B visa program, IT professionals in India. Trump has a restrictive stance on H-1B visa. He earlier increased, when he was president the previous time, he earlier increased wage requirements for foreign workers. So anybody who comes inside on an H-1B visa, there is a wage requirement and it has to be higher, which means he's forcing American companies to pay higher wages to foreign workers. And how does that help the Americans? What is the reason for hiring foreign workers? Because you get them cheaply. So he's saying, forget that. Have a level playing field. This is what Donald Trump says. Close the borders and deport illegal immigrants. And
ये तो भाई अच्छा है सबके लिए. अगर तुम फिर भी यूएसए पहुंचते हो तो तुमको बेटर सैलरी मिलता है, और अगर उस वजह से तुमको हायर नहीं किया जा रहा है तो तुम ब्रेन ड्रेन भी नहीं है. यहाँ पे बैठ के तुम्हारा दिमाग लगाओ, नहीं तो दुबई तो है तुम सबके लिए.
Very positive relationship with Prime Minister Modi. So this is a plus. This is a plus. I'm also all for deporting illegal immigrants. I mean, India should do it.
अनुशीलन, ideally yes, but frankly speaking, हमको ना दोनों ही करना है. हमको घटिया चीप मतलब गरीब लोगों के प्रोडक्ट्स भी बनाने हैं और बढ़िया क्वालिटी गारंटीड ब्रांडेड प्रोडक्ट्स भी बनाने हैं. दोनों में हमको अच्छा बनना है, नहीं तो नहीं होगा.
Forget about America. We should do it also. Then we come to defense. This is a very important part. We've already discussed immigration, ladies and gentlemen. Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, ICET and GEHAL. So these were the two important things which the current Joe Biden administration has signed with India. This HAL-G thing is still to take off. America has, for some reason.
हाँ दिव्या, होगा ही भाई. अखाड़ा में जो होता है भाई, रेसलिंग, ये कोई माने ना माने, हमको कुछ नहीं है. रेसलिंग, कुश्ती, not WWE, actual wrestling is the toughest sport in the history of mankind based on stamina and the kind of lung endurance you need. भाई, जिसने नहीं किया है उसको पता भी नहीं चलेगा. It is the toughest sport.
Stopped the supply of GE engines. They said they would. You know, F414 and F404 from General Electric. HAL was supposed to get it. They were supposed to put 404 in Tejas Mark 1 and 414 in Tejas Mark 2. That hasn't happened as yet. For some reason, America has stopped it. And they keep on saying a few months now, but they have not given it. Anyway, we had signed these two things with the United States of America. The third thing is that Quad. A sharp focus on Quad. Because he understands that this could be a very effective anti-China alliance. That is how America looks at it. India does not, but America looks at it like that. Arms sales, technology transfers, and defense cooperation is something that is expected to get easier. Trump is a businessman. He's that quintessential businessman. He understands here is a deal to be made. He'll make that deal, right? And peace through strength is his entire strategy in counter-terrorism. Peace
through strength is supposed to be a common sense. अब ये brand new मतलब एक discovery है लोगों के लिए, तो क्या करें? Ninad, hugely disagree with you. Boxing is not as tough as wrestling. Boxing is insanely fucking tough. मतलब 36 मिनट्स के लिए फुल 12 राउंड अगर बॉक्सिंग करो, मतलब 12 राउंड कोई आईने के सामने खड़े होकर शैडो बॉक्सिंग भी नहीं कर पाएगा. वो एक्चुअल बॉक्सर मार खाता है, मारता है, वो 36 मिनट के लिए. मगर वो रेसलिंग से टफ नहीं है, क्योंकि wrestling में there's no respite for even a fraction of a second. You are completely either pushing or pulling another human being who's also trying to push or pull you for the entire practice session or the matchup. Okay, but boxing में थोड़े मोमेंट के लिए भी तुमको थोड़ा एक ब्रेक का वक्त मिल रहा है, ठीक है? Which is why in MMA you'll see, I don't know, it can't happen in boxing because there's no other place to hit you except on the face. But in MMA, when people are insanely tired in the fourth or fifth round, they just chill a little, okay, and they accept the hits on the entire body, accept the kicks even, because that's at least giving them some breathing space. वो सब कुछ नहीं है रेसलिंग में. हमेशा पूरा का पूरा टाइम लेके सिर्फ पकड़ो, धक्का मारो या फिर खींचो. So no breathing, no chilling time in wrestling.
So strong that people dare not take any step against you. That is Trump's idea. He is against war, but Trump is not against counter-terror strikes. Abu al-Baghdadi, his death warrant was signed by Donald Trump, by the way. Friends, both Modi and Trump share a very personal equation, and they will meet, I'm sure. They will meet. I expect that they will meet in 2025. There will be opportunities for them to meet, and they will. More than
हाँ हो गया है ठीक है. Now we'll have our guests on. Okay, all those who want to come in, check out the link I've pinned in the comment section. I especially hope our libertarian homies come on and give us the economic views. So first, let's have on Protoy Kundu. I'll prefer all of you guys speak in the language you are comfortable in most, either English or Hindi, whichever works for you best and whichever you speak more clearly and faster in. Okay, everyone gets 5 to 10 minutes to give their views on either the Tipu Sultan book or on Trump winning. Okay, so Protoy, are you here?
Yeah. Good evening,
Yeah, go on.
Dada. How are you?
Good evening. Good.
So basically, as I already told in the chat, I am glad that Trump won, but I have four apprehensions regarding his rule. The first one is regarding he was the first guy who repealed the generalized system of preferences that India was given, the tariffs part that you talked about. Because if you talk about Donald Trump, the one word that defines him is he's an anti-globalist. So I think that
Yeah.
is going to hit India somehow. The second thing is India, the biggest strength in foreign policy that we have is our non-allied position, equidistant
Yeah.
relationship kind of thing with Russia and US.
Right.
But during Trump's administration, India was arm twisted into signing both BECA
Yeah.
and I think CONCASA. Both of those, LEMOA, sorry, BECA and LEMOA.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Both of those agreements were part of the fundamental documents that the US Army considers while finalizing its allies. So, my apprehension is if this arm twisting goes even further, if we are
Yeah.
made proper US allies, that will be disastrous because just as you told that Modi and Trump has good intentions, but what happens when someone else comes to power?
Yeah.
That will be very much difficult for India in the long term. The third thing that I feel might go wrong is India's relationship with Iran because we have invested heavily in the Chabahar port, which is our gateway to Central Asia, and because we know the kind of relationship, the kind of mentality that Trump has for Iran. And
now, go on.
Yeah. But having said that, I think in terms of purely visuals, in terms of lecturing on prosecution of minorities and all, we will be in a better state. Yeah.
So I just think that the India of 2019 2020 is no longer the India of 2024. Our bargaining power is poles apart, I think, today, and especially with our new sort of frenemy situation with China, which there never was in the last 80-100 years. Okay, so therefore I think we are going to be in a better position to deal with Trump. But I don't know what happens after people like Modi, Yogi go away, and after people like Trump and Vivek go away out of power, but those deals stay in place. That's a problem. Of course, there I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Protoy. Then
just one more thing, I would like to have your opinion. What is going to be the condition? What is going to be the equation with Yunus and Muhammad Yunus and the interim government in Bangladesh? What do you think is going to be Trump's position on that?
See, I heard that Sheikh Hasina actually has not officially even resigned. Do you know that? Has any else
The president,
heard that?
The president has told that I haven't received resignation.
So, Awami League is is ready to come back anytime, but I don't think it's going to be that easy that all of a sudden Yunus goes back or goes away and Sheikh Hasina returns. No, I think it's still going to be a BNP Jamaat alliance, or even if BNP and Jamaat remain, they are not going to be allowed to be those kinds of hardcore Islamists and stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sheikh Hasina comes back. So, but Yunus's time is definitely over, and it was over even if Kamala won.
Yeah. Another fun fact, actually, it's today's news. Many of the Bangladeshi mainstream news media is figuring out that Yunus government might be thinking of banning both Awami League and BNP. They are calling it the -2 formula.
Nice.
So, thank you so much.
Worry yourself
for
in
having
the hole you dug. Yeah. Thank you, Protoy.
Okay, thank you so much.
Next we have observer. Observer, I can't click on his observer. If you are listening, तुम्हारे में click करने के लिए बोल रहा है कि they will need to connect their mic or cam before you can add them to the stream. So you have entered, but you have not connected your mic or cam, okay, or reconnect them, okay. So I'm taking Gramsci Goat. Hi Gramsci Goat. Gramsci Goat, are you Divya? Divya Mani Tripathi? I forgot. बहुत दिन हो गए. Is he online? Gramsci Goat is probably quoting. Let's wait a little bit more.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So today the scenes in my college are really funny. So many
You
people
are
crying today.
right.
So many people crying today in my college. Of course the woke people and
Yeah.
I've never seen this kind of emotion for an election, even in the Indian context.
वही तो असली मजा है आज हमारे लिए. जो लोग बहुत सारे राइट विंगर्स बोल रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे पीपल आई रेस्पेक्ट ऑन ट्विटर, दे आर आल्सो सेइंग दैट व्हाई आर इंडियंस सो बॉदर्ड. फिर से वो चूतिया आर्गुमेंट के हु केयर्स व्हाट हैपेंस इन यूएसए. फिर 10 साल बाद बोलेंगे कि कैसे ट्रम्प के पास सब नैरेटिव चला गया. तो दे आर नॉट गेटिंग द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस सिचुएशन. और कुछ नहीं तो भाई तुम्हारे शत्रु देश में बैठे जो रो रहे हैं, इसका मतलब तो कुछ अच्छा तो हुआ है, उससे ही मजा कर लो थोड़ा. नहीं, who cares what happens in USA? So yeah, go on.
Yeah, so with the Trump victory, a lot of people are saying this on Twitter that there would be some de-escalation in the Middle East and the Houthis have surrendered or something.
Yeah.
So do you think that same applies to the Bangladesh situation also?
Yeah. There will be de-escalation everywhere because the main escalator of situations in the whole world is the American military industrial complex, जिसके खिलाफ ट्रम्प खड़ा हुआ है हमेशा. Now I'm not saying that Trump is going to like bulldoze every establishment or deep state phenomenon or institution in the entire country of USA. No. If he has come to power, it's with the ashirwad of the deep state in some quantity or the other. Okay, so it's not going to be drastic changes, but definitely lesser escalation. He already has a proven track record of not starting any new wars. मगर उसके बाद बंदा हार गया था. तो इस बार अगर डीप स्टेट के आशीर्वाद से आ रहा है वो, तो ज्यादा ड्रास्टिक चेंज ना भी हो तो मगर चारों ओर थोड़ा बहुत de-escalation तो होगा ही.
Yeah, and I would relate to know your views on some people like Sam Harris, and there is a guy called Noah Smith who Kushal Mehra had on his podcast a few months back. They were saying that very strange opinion they had that a Trump victory would result in 5 very like tumultuous, very politically very, what should I'm not getting the word, politically very active, volatile years for America, and the Harris presidency would be better because that would be like more peaceful or something like that.
Yeah. How? On the basis of what? See, this is the problem that हमारे Adam Smith said in his book, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, that this is why an outsider opinion on different societies is important. अब outsiders opinion जो दे रहा है वो चूतिया होगा तो तब तो अलग प्रॉब्लम है. मगर insiders का व्यू इतना biased हो जाता है because they have grown up seeing a particular kind of man. They have grown up, Sam Harris and all. They have grown up knowing that anyone who has a biodata of a person like Kamala or who speaks like Kamala, they are objectively a nice person and they do nice things and nice things happen all around them. A person who is like Trump or brash like Trump ends up doing bad things in life, and we don't want bad people in the presidency because they are under the impression that every president prior to Trump was a good person. ये good person का obsession ही जो है president को लेकर, यही एक बढ़िया weapon है to fool Americans forever and after. Okay, we have discussed this in our live streams previously also, that when a presidential candidate wants to fool Americans, he does 2-3 specific things. Okay, when he goes to let's say labor class meetings and stuff, okay, public meetings and gatherings, or in the central parts of USA, he takes off his tie before getting up on the stage and rolls up his shirt to prove that he is sort of a physically hardworking man, works with his hands, just like you guys. I'm just like you guys. ये है चुतिया asceticism first and foremost. Then every president makes sure they have a wife and at least one dog. Trump was the first president in about 200 years who became a president without having a pet dog in his home. Ye sab hai asceticism, and to show off that I am a good, nice family man. Okay, doesn't matter if I am gay in real life, doesn't matter if I'm a transgender in real life, doesn't matter if I fuck 50 women every weekend. I have to show that I have a wife and 2 children and a dog to give the vibe that I am just like you. Okay, तो ये सब चुतियापा में सैम हैरिस लोग बिलीव करते हैं और गांडू बनते भी है, और उसके बाद अभी भी इनको लग रहा है 2024 में बैठ के भी, since Trump doesn't tick these boxes, he is a bad person who will run the country to the ground no matter what the data and policies say. Fuck them.
For them, like Trump is like an outsider who doesn't, exudes a very suave, political, Obama type of.
हाँ, वो exclusive group में नहीं है ना उन लोगों का.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So.
Yeah.
It's time.
Thank you, Gramsci. Now we'll have Nava Vimarsh. After, let me just tell you the order so you all can be ready. Now we have Nava Vimarsh, Bhupendra. After that, we have someone called talking about the G, then Nandish, then Gautam Varun, then Shyam. Okay, so hi Nava Vimarsh, Bhupendra da.
Yes, so I want to counter Prasthaya Kundu's comment.
Your phone audio quality is a bit problematic. Can you do something else? I mean, can you, if you are speaking on headphones, can you move it around?
Yeah, let me just remove. Actually, I am walking.
Okay, it's a little.
Yeah,
it's a little covered up.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to give a counter to Prasthaya Kundu's comments. Okay. So this real politics that we see, correct? There will be negotiation and there will be give and take. Okay. So this view that India will suffer in terms of economics, in terms of trade, policies, and military things, that is not based on facts. Any negotiation which happens between two countries, America is a bigger country, a powerful country, but India, as you told, that it is now in a much better position in terms of military, also in terms of economics. So that give and take will take place. Doesn't matter who is in the presidency. It's Kamala or it's Trump.
Right.
So that was my argument.
Okay. Any other thing you want to add?
No, not that.
Okay. By the way, guys, check out his channel called Nava Vimarsh. It's being run by, I guess, Bhupendra and Ninar. Or is it just
all put together? There are around 20 people who run this.
Nice. They are putting out articles and they have started a channel as well. They are bringing out nice interviews and book discussions. So check out their channel, guys. It's called Nava Vimarsh. Vimarsh, right? Not Vimarsha.
So actually, because it's an English word, so we could not get any V. I had to add A additionally. So
right.
it's a language.
Right. Okay. So thank you, Bhupendra.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Next we have talking about the G. Let's see what his name is.
Not hello. Namaste bhaiya. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah. I can't see your full name. Where is it?
My name is Kushagra, but I was sort of writing the thing that I was going to talk about.
Okay.
It is called the book, which is just got out by William Dalrymple. It is The Golden Roads.
I see.
I think we should have a discussion about it in the YouTube channel. It's a fantastic book talking about the glorious Indian past. The ancient India from about I would say 500 BCE to about 12 till Islam came, Islamic invasion. The role of Indian civilization to the world, to the Southeast Asia's, Mongolia's, China's, Arab world, Arabian world, the Roman civilization.
I see. तो उनको अचानक क्या होगा? He was I guess in the commie faction of Indian history, no? How did he all of a sudden start glorifying India? Because has he seen a market for these things now? I'm surprised.
I would say at the end of the day, people are capitalists, so he would have seen that market. But the reason that he gives is that he was bored of writing such the books that were the initial thought of books that he had written about the British India Company and the later Mughal Empire. So the reason that he gave, I wanted a break from that, and that's why I wanted to write about ancient India and the sort of thing that he says are we did not actually what happens actually is we do not have initial report if you want to say something in front of a person that we are citing this sort of a thing we know that the Indian civilizational impact on Southeast Asia is pretty huge. The largest Hindu empire that was ever created in the world was the Khmer Empire in Southeast Asia. It was not in India. Indian subcontinent के अंदर मतलब कि हिंदू एम्पायर इतना बड़ा नहीं हुआ आज तक. The largest would have been the Samudragupta Empire in the Gupta dynasty. That was not मतलब कि जो geographical expanse है वो इतना बड़ा नहीं था. That was as compared to Southeast Asia. If we are going territorial wise, that is in Khmer province in I would say Laos, Cambodia, Thailand. So those are the facts. We needed those citations now. So that person has written it. We should discuss about it. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It will help. It will help several of our people who are right now in centrist form or क्या कहते हैं lefty communist people who don't have any sort of मतलब कि it would be like a moment that you had with Sanjeev Sanyal's book, na?
Yes.
The Land of Rivers, the seven rivers sort of thing.
Yes.
That moment could with this book we could have many of people to turn to Hindutva. That is
because Dalrymple is very respected among commies. So this is very surprising. So he has just absolutely realized that say good things about India and you can become a millionaire pretty soon by writing books. Because he was one of those people who complained to Bloomsbury saying that you do not publish Dr. Monica Arora's book. As a protest of which Sanjay Dikshit did, at the last moment kicked out Bloomsbury from his life and instead published his book from Garuda. And it was a surprise that after that Desai Deepak's book came out of Bloomsbury. So Dalrymple has been a big culprit in these things.
At least he was the one who was hosting the Jaipur Lit Festival at the end of the day. So he's a commie.
Right. So him saying good things is absolutely important.
He does not.
So
this is nice. If a person is ready to do your bidding, it does not matter whether he's a commie or a Marxist.
Especially because he has credentials. He's respected.
There's those
respected among
those Marxist credentials, the commie friend credentials.
Yes.
वो तो अपने लिए अच्छा ही है ना, क्या बुराई है?
Yeah.
Moreover about
वही तो हमारा
China
argument
thing,
है.
The China thing, we'll have a problem with China. Despite being मतलब कि 1800 years की history होने के बावजूद, the things that मतलब कि 1800 years history that we did not have a conflict with China, it's sort of a ringmonger. मतलब कि जो the actual Kushanas were the Chinese people. मतलब कि जो Kushanas आए थे अपने ऊपर, the history मतलब कि अपनों को पढ़ाया नहीं जाता, एक तो बड़ी दिक्कत ये भी है. So the Kushanas were usually from क्या कहते हैं Central Asia से आए थे. The Central Asia part which is क्या कहते हैं अपना Xinjiang China. The present day Xinjiang जो है जहाँ पर Uyghur Muslims होते हैं वहाँ से आए थे.
Right.
So these people were the so the initial influx that came from Central Asia was sort of Chinese. मतलब present day Chinese people जो कहेंगे आप. Present day Chinese territories जो कहेंगे. They came, they invaded, they assimilated and they adopted Hindu names, Hindu things and everything that was so-called Brahminical or present day Hindu or Buddhist and iconography and everything that they became मतलब कि that is what is India it is at best of it कि हम लोग यही है कि the people come out from outside and become part of us. That is what India is at the end of the day. तो फिर वो तो सही है लेकिन वहां से अटैक्स हुए हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि अटैक्स नहीं हुए और ऐसा नहीं है हम लोगों ने अटैक्स नहीं भेजे. मतलब कि you would say कि whether Tughlaq was good or not is different thing, but Tughlaq was क्या कहते हैं Muhammad bin Tughlaq who was a ruler of Delhi at a certain point of a time in our history sent an invasion to China in Qing some sort of a province was the name of the province. But that mishap was very badly क्या कहते हैं बहुत ही बुरा था वो हालात. मतलब कि a lot of people died in that because of weather conditions and we did not know how to attack in the mountains and everything like that. तो फिर वो तो बहुत नुकसान हुआ था उसमें लेकिन those conflicts had been there. We had not मतलब कि 18 ऐसा नहीं है कि 1800 years of China, India and most of the times we did not have a border with China. The present day Chinese border with India is a recent phenomena. मतलब कि काफी scholars ये बात मानते हैं कि the Tibet being an autonomous क्या कहते हैं autonomous region under the guard मतलब ऐसा होना चाहिए कि the border should be Tibet should have been the buffer between India and China. It is good for both of us. लेकिन अब है नहीं तो फिर problems होंगे चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए because at the end of the day Chinese CCP is the new emperor ना. They are the new emperors. So they will expand. Every emperor wants to expand his territory for people.
Right.
So they will expand, and they want that southern China, मतलब कि जो southern Tibet वो कहते हैं, अरुणाचल प्रदेश जो है, they really do want to win that, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. तो फिर अगर उनके पास वो नहीं आएगा, सदर्न तिब्बत नहीं आएगा, दैट इज अरुणाचल प्रदेश, दे कुड नॉट. फिर वो लोग क्या कहते हैं, वी कैन प्ले अ कार्ड ऑफ, क्या कहते हैं, द दलाई लामा बीइंग इंडियन. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. इंडिया और चाइना के बीच में सिर्फ एक प्रॉब्लम है, दैट इज तिब्बत, और कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस, फॉर चाइनीज आल्सो, फॉर इंडियंस आल्सो. वी से द दलाई लामा इज द ट्रू रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ तिब्बत, and Chinese say that Tibet is the true representative of the territory of Tibet is the true representative of Tibet. अब वो territory जो है हमारे पास है southern Tibet, हम ये कह सकते हैं southern Tibet में दलाई लामा बैठा हुआ है, और चाइना जो है क्या कहते हैं हमारा पार्ट, मतलब कि हम ताइवान, मतलब कि तिब्बत के ऊपर क्लेम कर सकते हैं इस तरीके से. लेकिन चाइना ये कभी भी नहीं चाहेगा कि हम तिब्बत के ऊपर क्लेम करें. तो that's the real problem between India and China. So we are not going to be friends any, मतलब कभी भी दोस्त हो ही नहीं सकते, क्योंकि टेरिटोरियल प्रॉब्लम है. और अगर आप नेशन स्टेट्स में मानते हो तो आप फिर ऐसे कैसे काम कर सकते हो? दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. तभी तो जो क्या कहते हैं उस टाइम पे जो क्या था, माओ जेडोंग के बाद जो बंदा था जो मतलब कि पॉजिटिव लेकर आ रहा था, लेकिन उसने तिब्बत के ऊपर कभी बात ही नहीं करी. डेंग जाओपिंग, उसने कभी क्या कहते हैं तिब्बत के ऊपर बात नहीं करी. मोस्ट ऑफ द लीडर्स ऑफ चाइना डोंट टॉक टू इंडियन लीडर्स अबाउट तिब्बत, because they know कि Tibet is the sore point. It is the, and most of the people who follow Buddhism in China are Tibetan Buddhist. जो पुराने वाला बुद्धिज्म था वो तो खत्म हो गया. The real representation of Buddhist philosophy in China today is Tibetan Buddhism, because most of the people who are in China are meat lovers, and only Tibetan Buddhism is the only Buddhism in the parts of world which मतलब कि philosophically allow करता है non vegetarian.
अच्छा, हाँ, ठंड का जगह है, मीट तो खाना ही पड़ेगा थोड़ा बहुत.
हाँ, तो that's also a reason for it. तो फिर वो तो कभी होने नहीं वाला. हम दोस्त तो बनने नहीं वाले चाइना के साथ. We should understand this. हम ये कर सकते हैं कि किसी तरीके से रशिया को चाइना से बाहर निकाल ले, लेकिन वो भी मुझे लगता है बहुत मुश्किल काम है. इफ द गवर्नमेंट लड़ाई चलती रही तो फिर वो भी बहुत मुश्किल काम है. और अबाउट ट्रम्प, आई डोंट नो वेदर इट्स गुड और बैड, बट इट्स एटलीस्ट इतना तो अच्छा है कि हम लोगों को मॉरल एक्शन, मतलब कि मॉरल लेक्चर नहीं सुनने पड़ेंगे. वी कैन एटलीस्ट पास सम बिल्स.
वो तो है,
बिना लेक्चर के कम से कम वक्फ बिल पास हो सकता है. दैट्स द रियल थिंग. वरना वफ पास होता और सारी वेस्टर्न डेमोक्रेसीज के जितने भी लीडर्स हैं वो लोग पक्का ट्वीट लिखते कि persecution of Muslims in India is happening and they are taking away the lands of the Muslims, the religious sanctimonious जो people हैं वो लेफ्ट पे वो सब करते. लेकिन अब कम से कम वो नहीं होगा. अगर कुछ कहेंगे तो कह देंगे कि हम लोग, डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प का खुद का ट्वीट देख लो, ये मुस्लिम्स के बारे में खुद क्या कहता है, हम तो बेटर हैं कम से कम इनसे. ये वाली बात है.
Okay, thank you then, Kushagra. We'll have to take other guests now. Thank you for giving us your points.
Thank you, Bia.
Thank you. So Nina just sent this article to us in the message box. Gautam Adani has said, if there is one person on earth who stands as the embodiment of unbreakable tenacity, unshakable grit, relentless determination, and the courage to stay true to his beliefs, it is Donald Trump, not Narendra Modi. Arey, ka bol diye. Fascinating to see America's democracy empower its people and uphold the nation's founding principles. Founding principles. Congratulations to the 47th POTUS elect. Now, founding principles से याद आया, ये मैंने कुछ दिन पहले बोल रहा था ना कि ये जो हमारा एक sort of criticism है of our past kings, that why were they not united? And I said that it's not a correct reading of history, no matter how much random facts you know from here and there, that this king did this or this king lost that war, etc. But in the end, you think the main problem was that you were not able to prevent those colonizations because of infighting or lack of unity, etc. By infighting, lack of unity का फैक्टर तब आता है जबकि वो एक स्ट्रक्चर के भीतर का कॉन्वर्सेशन हो. वो स्ट्रक्चर, वो वी, वो अस, वो कुछ नहीं था, और ये ना होना ही नेचुरल है. नेचुरलिस्टिक फैलेसी में हम नहीं घुसना चाहते, मगर दैट इज हाउ इट इज until a threat appears, or like it is today, someone comes up with the idea that nation state नाम का एक चीज बनाएंगे जहां पे ये सब फिक्स्ड होगा, एटसेट्रा. ठीक है, तो ये अमेरिका के फाउंडिंग प्रिंसिपल्स के बारे में ये याद आया मुझे. कल मैं संजय दीक्षित का डिस्कशन देख रहा था विथ वो अरे व्हाट्स हिज नेम, that Republican Indian guy who runs the Jaipur Dialogue English channel, that old elderly gentleman. what's his name? I forgot. Anyway, so while discussing with him, Sanjay Dixit made an interesting comment, which made me think, and I ended up agreeing with him in my mind, that there's too much of federalism in USA. Okay, now वो ना होता भी कैसे, because I am reading the Federalist papers and as well as the anti-Federalist papers, which is absolutely, I can't recommend it enough, guys, for knowledge of political science, human psychology, war strategy, running a government, running a nation, English literature, grasp of English language, कुछ भी चीज के लिए reading the Federalist papers is absolutely necessary. How to articulate a point, okay, all those things, okay. तो Federalist papers में ऐसा situation है कि Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, James Madison, okay, these three people are arguing and countering those anti-federalists like Thomas Jefferson even, who are the people, anti-federalists are the people who are saying that what's the point of this nation state kind of a thing, we'll just have different confederacies here and there, make up 5-6 states and call it North USA का नाम का एक देश होगा, South USA का एक देश होगा, East USA नाम का एक देश होगा, या फिर वो 33 कॉलोनीज अलग अलग देश बन जाएगी, इसमें क्या है भोसरी के। तो इन लोगों और ये लोग ऑलरेडी कन्विंस कर लेते हैं बहुत लोगों को, ठीक है, ये 1780s में हो रहा है, 1776 में बट इंडिपेंडेंस मिला है, 1780 तक ये बवाल चल रहा है, ठीक है। तो उसको काउंटर करने के लिए, जबकि बहुत से लोग ऑलरेडी कन्विंस हो चुके हैं कि हाँ हम तो मतलब सिविलाइजेशनली काइंड ऑफ यूनाइटेड हैं ही, मगर एक देश में सारे लोगों को काहे मतलब जुड़ देना, हम लोग अपने अपने तरह से अपने अपने जिंदगी चलाएंगे बिताएंगे, ठीक है। तो अब ये लोग अलेक्जेंडर हैमिल्टन लोग आके कन्विंस करते हैं नहीं भोसरी के ऐसा नहीं करना है, हम लोगों को थोड़ा बहुत एक नेशन की तरह रहना है, उसके लिए बहुत सारे आर्गुमेंट्स वो देता है, which would kind of seem to you obvious today because you've grown up thinking of land and territory and state in the nation state context, but वो उतना obvious नहीं था उनके लिए भी 1780 में, और शिवाजी के टाइम पे तो छोड़ ही दो, ठीक है, शिवाजी was the first person who at least thought of this idea, तो छत्रपति शिवाजी, और बिफोर दैट हमारे किंग्स को भी ये आइडिया दिमाग में नहीं आया। तो उन लोगों को कैसे ये लगेगा कि भाई अचानक सिर्फ एक रिलीजन, उसके बाद 1757 में और एक और रिलीजन, लेट्स से इन द 1800s, two religions for the first time come united by taking in different kinds of people into their fold by conversion, and then they attack different lands based on that made up BS unity, okay। ये चीज, ये ऐसा फेनोमेनन किसी ने देखा ही नहीं था उसके पहले, तो किसी को कैसे लगेगा कि हमको एक यूनाइटेड हिंदू राष्ट्र की तरह एक देश चलाना है, और हमारे तो लिटिल किंग्स से लेके बिगेस्ट किंग्स है चारों ओर, कौन ऐसे मान लेगा कि हाँ हाँ हम सब अपना पावर वर्ड छोड़ के आपको राजा बना देते हैं, आप चलाइए, हमसे ना हो पाएगा, ऐसा सिचुएशन तो होगा ही नहीं। तो जो अलेक्जेंडर हैमिल्टन को कन्विंस करना पड़ा, उसके वो नेगोशिएशन के वजह से अभी भी यूएसए का जो फेडरलिज्म है वो यहां तक आके अटक गया। अब लग रहा है लोगों को कि ये भी ज्यादा फेडरलिज्म है, क्योंकि चुतिया इन लोगों ने ही, फिर मतलब इन लोगों ने नहीं, कॉलोनियलिस्ट ने नेशन स्टेट मॉडल भी थोप दिया लोगों के ऊपर, जो आई थिंक आज बेटर है ही, क्योंकि अगर हमको टैकल करना है एक यूनाइटेड रिलीजन, जो कि टू कोट रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर's comments on those two distinct religions, etc. So if that statement of Rabindranath Tagore is true, then we need a nation state model. There's no two ways about it. We can't pretend to be, or we can't even bring up the idea of a civilization state anymore, okay? So all I'm saying is that these things are not so obvious. It has never been to anyone in the history of mankind, and maybe because those two religions created that kind of insane unity just to devour different populations, therefore it's the descendant of those people only who came up with the idea of a nation state. तो अब अगर हम क्रिकेट खेलेंगे, क्रिकेट के रूल्स किसी और ने बना दिया है, हम वहां जाके नहीं बोल सकते हैं कि अब हम बॉल को पैर से लात मारेंगे, अब उनके रूल से ही खेलना पड़ेगा, रूल्स सेट हो चुके हैं। तो यू सी, टू मच फेडरलिज्म ऑफ यूएसए इज स्टिल way too less of a federalism if we take the arguments of the anti-federalists into account, but वो भी negotiate करना पड़ा अलेक्जेंडर हैमिल्टन लोगों को, कन्विंस करना पड़ा कि नहीं भाई इतना एटलीस्ट रखो। Okay, next is Nandish.
Namaskar.
Hi Nandish. Hi, namaskar.
So I was about to talk about the Vikram Sampath's new book. Yeah, the volume of the book is such that I was forced to buy digital edition.
Your voice is breaking up a little. Can you do something about it?
Have it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I was talking about the Tipu Sultan book by Vikram Sampath,
Acha, acha.
and the volume
Right.
of the book is such that I was
Mhm.
forced to buy digital edition of the
Yeah.
book. So I would
Hmm.
consider this book a sequel to his previous book that was Splendors of Royal Mysore.
Hmm. I see.
So only one or two chapters were reserved for Tipu and his father, but in this book
Hmm.
he goes into detail, and
Okay.
he in his preface and his in his speeches he like dedicates the book to history of Mysore, because when he saw the Sword of Tipu Sultan series by Sanjay Khan on TV,
Hmm.
and he saw all the Mysore Maharajas, obese Maharajas dancing around in the series,
Hmm.
and he said, "Was this really the case?" Because he had
Hmm.
seen the Maharajas because he was from that place.
Hmm.
And later he went to, like, every holiday he went to Mysore and talked to like all the his people who were related to that history. And later when he wrote the previous book and he
Hmm.
attended some meetings in certain cities in Karnataka,
Hmm.
and he was invited for talks and lectures. And in one of the places, this his father was given a threat letter that
Hmm.
if you only have one son, and if he continues to do it, you'll lose him. So his mother made him take an oath that he will never ever write about Tipu Sultan again. Now that his mother is no more, he wrote this book.
I see. Okay, then Nandish, you wanted to add anything else?
Nope, no. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nandish. So Shaurya Sinha is asking, will Zelensky be made to finally negotiate with Putin, which he has been avoiding? Yes, yes, absolutely. He's done. So Ukraine war khatam. Uh, Trump is going to call up Putin. If not already, he has done it. So he's going to tell him that I'm not going to fund NATO. I'm not going to fund Ukraine. तुम भी युद्ध बंद कर दो. इन लोगों के पास पैसा भी नहीं होगा युद्ध करने को तुम्हारे साथ. ठीक है? चलो चलो चुपचाप अपने अपने घर जाओ. And Russia won't have a problem with it because they have also suffered massive casualties and उनका economy वैसे भी गड्ढे में है. Will Trump be able to at least broker a temporary ceasefire in Palestine? देखो able to फेबल to का बात नहीं है. अगर ट्रम्प चाहे कर लेगा, नहीं चाहे तो नहीं होगा. एंड मुझे नहीं लगता है कि वो चाहता है पैलेस्टाइन का सीज फायर करने में. ठीक है? बिकॉज सी हु केप्ट द पैलेस्टाइन इशू अलाइव फॉर ऑल दीज इयर्स? It was the deep state. I mean, the military industrial complex and stuff. People who have escalated all these wars across the Middle East and all over the world, who have done those shenanigans, they are the ones who have kept Palestine alive. ठीक है? Because जो लोग देश के बाद देश, सोसाइटी के बाद सोसाइटी को डिसिमेट करते फिरते हैं, इन लोगों को एक पैलेस्टाइन हैंडल नहीं हुआ इतने दिनों से. नहीं. तो इन लोगों को ये चाहिए था कि हम इजराइल को पैसा भी भेजेंगे, जूइश बिलियनर्स से हमारा पेट भी चलेगा, मगर हम पैलेस्टाइन का गब्बर सिंह भी हम इनको दिखाते रहेंगे, जूजू बंगाली में. ठीक है? दिखाते रहेंगे ताकि हम सबको मिला के हम सब चल सके एक साथ. ठीक है? वो जैसे कि मोहन आगाशे का डायलॉग था गंगा जल में, कि हम सबसे रिलेशन बनाए चलते हैं. तो दे वांटेड सबसे रिलेशन. But now you see, anyone who does not want a war to go on forever and ever, they have no fucking interest in saving Palestine for some later course meal, etc. Okay, वो लास्ट में बाद में और कुछ का साइड डिश नहीं बनने वाला है. पैलेस्टाइन या तो नहीं रहेगा, और रहेगा भी तो वो इजराइल का बंधा हुआ डॉगी बन जाएगा. और एक और बात याद रखो कि ट्रम्प after Vivek dropped out, everywhere Trump was going, people were clamoring for Vivek to become the VP. Why did Vivek not become the nominee in the first place? Why did Vivek not become the VP candidate? Why did out of the fucking blue an absolute dumb bitch like वो Nikki Haley beat Vivek in every poll all across the country? In my opinion, it was because of Jewish billionaire funding who got very pissed off with Vivek's idea of not funding Israel. Okay? इसीलिए विवेक वीपी नहीं है आज, जेडी वैंस वीपी है. आज भी ट्रंप को थोड़ा सा, जितना हो सके, सिंस पॉपुलैरिटी ऑफ विवेक इज सो हाई, जितना हो सके विवेक को डिस्टेंस में ही रखा जाता है. और मुझे लगता है हमेशा के लिए रखा जाएगा अंटिल विवेक ओपनली सेज यस, ये लो पैसा इजराइल और मार दो भोसरी का, पूरा पैलेस्टाइन उड़ा दो. तब तक विवेक को कोई पैसा नहीं मिलने वाला है जूइश लॉबी से. और इसीलिए ट्रंप को अगर जूइश बिलियनियर्स का सपोर्ट चाहिए तो पैलेस्टाइन के साथ जो मर्जी आए करने देना पड़ेगा. मगर एक और एडिशनल पॉइंट ये है कि आज कोई एडिशनल इंसेंटिव भी नहीं है किसी के पास पैलेस्टाइन को जिंदा रखने के लिए, जो कि आज तक था इन चुतियों के पास. दैट्स ऑल. So absolutely they are screwed. Yes, this is going on since last night in Bangladesh. Next is Gautam Varun. Hi Gautam.
Namaste Anna.
Namaste.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My question is that don't you think decentralizing the education system or social science would benefit the Hindu society so that Hindus can work in academia and research on Hindu causes? Because if you go to leftist universities or even Oxford or Harvard, if you do slightly anything related to Hinduism, like Rashmi Samant, just because of one picture she got attacked, she was basically banned. So don't you think if Hindus invested, and mostly if they are working on Hindu causes, would benefit?
What do you mean by decentralizing it? What would be the steps you would take?
Decentralizing, I mean, like today, if we establish a university, you should only use curriculum of what government says, which is mostly, it is Marxist way of looking things. So decentralizing means anyone can make his curriculum in his own way.
Then private university, right?
Something like that.
So you see, the problem with private university is it's again that kind of thing के ट्विटर को भगा दो, हम अपना कू में बात कर लेंगे, मतलब टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया नहीं चाहिए, हम ऑर्गेनाइजर में लिख लेंगे. वो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा क्योंकि अभी ऋषिहुड तो ऑलरेडी है, तो ये सब यूनिवर्सिटी का वो रेस्पेक्ट नहीं है. क्योंकि क्रेडेंशियल्स का जो फैक्टर है ना, वो है ऐसा है कि तुमको अगर कोई ट्रांजिशन करना है सोसाइटी में नैरेटिव्स का, तो वो जिन लोगों के पास नैरेटिव का पावर है उन लोगों के हाथों से ही होना पड़ता है, या फिर उन लोगों के जैसे क्रेडेंशियल्स वालों के थ्रू ही होना पड़ता है. अब डॉक्टर सोमोदय के पास तो जेएनयू का पीएचडी भी है, मगर वो पढ़ाते हैं ऋषिहुड में, इसलिए उनका चीजें भी सीरियसली नहीं लिया जाता है. डॉक्टर कौशिक गंगोपाध्याय का बुक, ठीक है, इतना बढ़िया काम है. आईआईएम कोझिकोड का प्रोफेसर है, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ रॉचेस्टर का पीएचडी है, उनका काम कोई क्यों सीरियसली नहीं ले रहा है? क्योंकि ये आया है गरुड़ा से. अगर ये ब्लूम्सबरी से आता तो जैसे कि जेसाई दीपक के साथ हुआ कि अल्टीमेटली दिस गाय वाज नॉट फ्रॉम सोशल साइंस बैकग्राउंड, ही वाज अ लॉयर. पहले बहुत 3 साल बोला कि कौन है ये सोशल साइंस में के बारे में क्या बात करेगा लॉयर. तो 3 साल बाद जाके प्रेसिडेंसी का ग्रेजुएट आनंदरूप सेन को साउथ अफ्रीका में बैठ के उसका क्रिटिक करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि इतना सुपर हिट हो गया है बुक. ब्लूम्सबरी से आया है. हर बंदा मतलब 17 से लेकर 70 तक ट्विटर में जेसाई दीपक का लाइन उठा के डिबेट कर रहा है कॉमिक्स के साथ हर जगह पे. और फिर ब्लूम्सबरी भी है. ये सब मिला के ऐसा हुआ कि उन लोगों को सामने मतलब एक्नॉलेज करना पड़ा. मगर अगर हमारे हर लोग ही ऋषिहुड जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी से आएंगे, तब तो मतलब वेट करना पड़ेगा 20-30 साल. और फिर मैं पर्सनली ये ट्रस्ट भी नहीं करता हूं कि वहां पे अच्छा काम भी होगा, क्योंकि देखो कॉमिक्स ने क्या किया, अच्छा काम ही अल्टीमेटली नहीं किया ना. इन लोगों तो प्रॉब्लम्स कुछ सॉल्व ही नहीं किए. इन लोगों में से कुछ लोगों ने अच्छे क्रेडेंशियल्स के साथ बढ़िया काम भी किए, जो कि इन्होंने खुद गायब भी कर दिया. हमको तो सिर्फ प्रो हिंदू या प्रो इंडिया नैरेटिव नहीं चाहिए, हमको अच्छा काम चाहिए जो कि बाद में इंडिया के बेटरमेंट के लिए काम आएगा. तो आई डोंट ट्रस्ट दैट इफ ओनली लेट्स से एंटी कम्युनिस्ट, एंटी लेफ्टिस्ट नैरेटिव यूनिवर्सिटीज कम अप, I have a hunch that they will start saying that Hinduism never had casteism. If at all there was casteism, it was created after British came about, or we had 500 GB iPhone in 300 BC, etc. ऐसे चीजें भी हो सकता है. I have a suspicion. So if you want to win in a game, you have to play by those rules. After you win, you can change the rules. अभी rules ये है कि तुमको लेफ्टिस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशन में घुसाना पड़ेगा लोगों को, और जो अभी पावर है गवर्नमेंट के हाथों में. That's my opinion on this.
So using the leftist sources and winning the argument is
Right.
what you're saying.
या बाहर तो हम वैसे भी जीत रहे हैं. एज आई से रिपीटेडली दैट एल्गोरिदम का तो इतना मजा है आजकल कोई अगर गलती से थोड़ा बहुत एंटी ममता बनर्जी पोस्ट पे भी क्लिक कर दे 5 दिन बाद वो संदीप सन्याल का वीडियो देखने लगेगा. तो एल्गोरिदम में तो हम वैसे भी जीतेंगे, मगर क्रेडेंशियल जगहों में ऐसे ही जीता जाएगा.
Yeah, I just have one last short question. You said that we should appropriate Indian leftist icons like Bhagat Singh or Ambedkar, which I like the idea. But don't you think there are some icons like Ramaswamy Nayakar or others who can't be appropriated straightly? What do you think about that?
I don't know who Ramaswamy Nayakar is.
Periyar.
What are his opinions? Oh, Periyar. Yeah. हाँ, जिन लोगों ने कुछ भी मतलब काम का चीज नहीं बोला है उनको लेकर हम क्या करें. मगर अंबेडकर भगत सिंह का क्या है, इन्होंने ऐसे ऐसे चीज बोल रखे हैं जो कि अगर हम बोले तो लेफ्टिस्ट आके हमारा ही सर्तन से जुदा कर देगा, मगर ये उनके भगवान ने बोल रखा है तो उनको तो एप्रोप्रिएट करना ही है भाई. जिन्होंने नहीं बताया है तो उसका हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Gautam. Next is Shyam.
Hello,
Hi Shyam. Yeah.
How are you?
Hi. Good.
Yeah, first time I learned about Tipu is my father told me the story about it, but he didn't. He just told me the story about it like that. Like he fought with the British. Just think, he didn't tell me. I think he didn't even know about it like that. But when I heard about it, I was pretty shocked about it. Even I thought he was, a patriot, fought for the country in the early days.
Yeah.
Yeah, even my father was pretty aware of it. Like he told me the stories about Chhatrapati Shivaji because he studied in Pune. He studied law in Pune. So he told me stories about it, but he told me the stories of Tipu too. So I thought he was something. But after I saw that Vikram Sampath lecture in Bangalore, I think that's when I first learned about Tipu's other side. So it was pretty shocking to me about it.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, then Shyam, you want to add anything else?
Nothing, but even for Trump, I really thought he would win. I thought Kamala would win. I don't know why, but I thought I followed Abhijit about it. Abhijit and he told rigging हो जाएगा, सब कुछ हो जाएगा. So I thought,
मैंने भी वही सोचा था.
Yeah, but it's nice. But I was fan of Trump. Even मैं SNL देखता था मुझे जब मैं स्कूल होता था. जब SNL देख के मैं भी ट्रम्प को हेट करना शुरू किया. पता नहीं मुझे. I never met the man in my life, but I started hating him. Afterwards, when I came into right, something like this. एक Islam से वीडियो आया उससे. He talked about Islam in some random bit. Then I started following him. बंदा में दम है, मोदी इतना बोल नहीं सकते इस्लाम के बारे में, वो बोला है. So I was pretty fan about it. Hello.
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you, Shyam. Thank you for letting us know how you grew up not knowing about Tipu Sultan, just like most of us as well. Thank you, Shyam. I guess you are offline already. I think there's some problem with your connection. I can't hear you anymore, okay? Okay, he's gone. Now we have the famous M. Shastri. Hello, M. Shastri.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, where do you want me to start? Canada,
if you have any thoughts on the Tipu Sultan book, otherwise then William Dalrymple and Trump victory.
No, I think it's good that we are having more writers write about our history. I mean, sure, Dalrymple is there. He's an opportunist. He gets pampered, right? Fundamentally, he's a Brit guy who gets pampered enormously in India. And he's just looking to ensure that pampering doesn't go away. He's an old English guy, right? All retiree Brits, kind of his caliber. They look for tropical places to retire in where they can get 2-3 nokris and nokrani. I'm not kidding. Like, it sounds funny, but
yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it is. So I don't care. He's an opportunist, right?
Yeah.
Like when India was swinging left, he was swinging with all the Latvians crowd and saying all the stuff that they need
Yeah.
we need to hear because उसको मुफ्त में बटर चिकन और काजू कतली मिल रहा था.
Yeah.
Right? अभी वो हिंदुत्व quote unquote हिंदुत्ववादी के लिए जो बोलना है बोलेगा just so that he gets his free butter
चिली
chicken.
पनीर. Yeah. अब तो चिली पनीर खाएंगे, अब तो वेजिटेरियन भी बन जाएंगे.
नहीं
अब बोलेंगे
चिली
उसका
पनीर तो
अवेकनिंग हो गया इस्कॉन जाके.
नहीं चिली पनीर तो चाइनीज है यार, so he'll still
Oh,
stick
अच्छा.
to
Yeah,
Lahori
fun.
stuff. So it'll be butter chicken, but वो occasionally नहीं दिवाली है इसलिए मैं पनीर टिक्का मसाला खाऊंगा.
Yes.
But he's an opportunist. He's not a lefty. He's not righty. He's just an opportunist. That's the first thing I do want to say, right? Like he's like any other retired English middle aristocrat. पालक पनीर के लिए वो पालक नहीं खाता है यार, वो बटर चाहिए उसमें, बटर पनीर टिक्का मसाला. So that's my take on Dalrymple. But yeah, we need more writers. Vikram Sampath writing on it is a good thing. We actually need more writers from within India writing about these things, making breakthroughs. We need to start creating our own citation loops, and that is very important, and that is starting to happen. Right? I think there's a more. The 2024 results brought in a significant amount of urgency to that. And I think people are starting to realize it.
Yeah. And there's definitely absolutely, it's a proven fact that there's a huge market for these books. Otherwise, Dalrymple would not be writing these books.
I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Dalrymple ko kya hai ki he has a captive market already. जो लिखे उसका वो Latvians चेला सब खरीद लेगा वैसे भी. He has sponsors, there's chelas, then he goes on book tours, and so there's a captive market for him. वो जो बकवास लिखेगा वो बकवास वो Latvians खा ही लेगा क्योंकि वो Latvians का बंदा है. So market's not the issue. It's more about us writing. I'm pretty sure Vikram Sampath, like how many books did his previous book sell? Not that much, if you think about it, right? Like I think it made what 4 or 5 lakhs sales. That's not a lot for a country that reads twice as much as the world does.
What does our country read? I think only Ikigai and Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I don't think anyone has. The majority of Indians have not read anything other than these 2 books.
No, I'm saying reading as we have a reading habit. हमारे देश में लोग नॉवल पढ़ते हैं, न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं, टेक्निकल डॉक्यूमेंट्स पढ़ते हैं, मगर पढ़ते हैं.
हाँ, कुछ ना कुछ पढ़ते हैं.
कुछ ना कुछ पढ़ते हैं. हाँ. So
Atomic Habits.
Just, yeah. So it's just an aspect of, like, in a nation, in a country where people read twice as much as the rest of the world do, we actually don't have a lot of book sales.
Right.
So all of our authors are actually sustained by other sources of revenue, and we have a huge podcast crowd. So people know more about Vikram Sampath's books through his podcast or through podcasts rather than reading the book.
Yeah.
So it's like an author today is not an author alone. He's a content creator.
Yeah. वो तो होना ही है.
So, and I bet half the folks in this stream, right, they would have not read any books that we've discussed, but they would have definitely watched 1 or 2 podcasts and listened to what the author has to say about his book.
Yeah, including me. I have not read anything by Sampath as of yet.
So there's that. So we can move on to the next topic.
So what do you think of Trump's victory?
Not surprising. What I think the Democrats need to have a serious wake-up call. Because women did not turn up the way they thought they would. Minorities did not turn up the way they thought they would.
Yeah.
And
those who did turn up actually voted for Trump. From Asians to black men, black gay men,
to Jews.
Jews, Latinos, all these people voted for
even
Trump.
Hindus. So
Yeah.
the most biggest telltale sign is New Jersey, right? Democrats,
Right.
New Jersey is very, very, very safe Democrat, right? So
I was surprised by Michigan to a large extent.
Michigan maybe वो थोड़ा split voting चल रहा था. Michigan is an interesting case, but I'll come to that a little bit later. Let me focus on just the Hindu votes, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's the interesting bit here. New Jersey.
No, I'm saying because Michigan also has a large NRI crowd, no, in Ann Arbor, in those places.
ना. Michigan का अलग ही factor है. वो बताता हूँ मैं थोड़ी देर में.
Okay.
So let's start with New Jersey, right? New Jersey, big, huge Guju population, and there's like where you have like big Indian populations, you have populations of other Indians as well, right? New Jersey, huge Guju population. Like that state, like there are suburbs where you have Indians that goes as big as like 40-50% or something. They're not a small chunk, right? And it used to be, it's a Democrat safe state, right? So last election, Democrats swept it by 20% leads. 20% leads. 2022, they had somewhere about 20% leads. This year, in this election, they got reduced to 8% lead. Mane, that lead got cut by half. So half the folks who used to vote for Trump, for Democrats have essentially shifted to Trump. And yeah, Ninar, yes, Khalstanis are opportunists. They'll vote for anybody and everybody who... See, Khalistanis, they will vote for anybody who's in power because they just want to go after the person in power. Then they're not seeking. They play with everybody.
Because at the end of the day, they are just a crime racket. So उनको तो सिर्फ मतलब कुछ shenanigans करना है, उससे बचावा चाहिए और तो कुछ नहीं चाहिए उनको.
और कुछ नहीं. So anyway, that should be a huge wake up call for Democrats. Right?
Now,
losing a very safe seat.
Would it be fair to assume that except Bengali NRIs, pretty much most NRIs have voted for Trump?
It'll be difficult to say.
Do you know the percentages and stuff? The ethnicity breakups of NRIs in USA?
I can only talk about specific states, right? So New Jersey, I can definitely tell you.
Okay.
But with a good degree of confidence. California, I have to wait for the numbers to come in, and then I have to look at the county-wide distribution, and then and then I can tell you what the breakdown looks like.
Okay.
Because California is also going to be very interesting because there's been a movement in the Asian vote towards Trump. I'm not talking Indian. Asian votes.
Right. Asian में तो हुआ ही है. Yes, because of especially affirmative action going away and all.
That includes Indians.
I'm not convinced about Bengali NRIs.
See, कितना Bengali NRIs है? Estimate
Lots. I mean, lots compared to what? So, I think most Bengali NRIs are in New Jersey, Austin, and California only. Austin is not a state, but those are usually the concentrations: San Francisco, San Diego, San Jose.
But here's the thing: they'll be outnumbered by Telugus, Tamils. In Austin, definitely Tamil.
Are they outnumbered? That's what I'm worried about.
Yes.
Now, what I'm suspecting is that NRIs of different ethnicities are voting on the basis of what state they come from in India and how that state votes in India only, whether they are leftist or right winger and stuff. I think
no.
Are they not?
That's not a factor, right? See,
okay.
I'll tell you a couple of things. Is that NRIs do not vote on the basis of India, at least not yet. It's still very.
So are Tamil NRIs open to voting for a guy who seems to be friends with Modi, even though Tamils here won't touch him with a 10-foot pole?
Hey, actually, Tamils here are way more Indian than Tamils in India.
But you are talking about only Tamil Brahmins, right?
No, the broader community.
Okay, right? So no Dravidianism crap there among the NRIs.
It hasn't caught on over here.
I see.
Right? I mean, in the sense like, हाँ इधर उधर वो छोटे spaces पे होता है, but it hasn't caught on over here. And the issue is that I think when you bring caste politics in this country, and most people come here to escape caste politics. Right? Even the lower caste people, they don't want caste politics here. Like, घर से I escaped this shit to come here. You follow opportunities, get rich, and you bring the same shit here. It actually turns people away.
Okay.
So and the other thing is that I think caste politics got associated with Kamala Harris. So it's that's the problem, right? I mean, she went with full on woke, and that turned away a lot of people. But again, there's an issue of, like, I'll put it this way. The NRI community, they primarily vote on kitchen table issues, right? Inflation, so government theek hai ki nahi hai, right? They don't.
But I'm wondering, do they even care about inflation? Because most of them are the richest ones in the entire country.
Of course they do. Right?
Okay.
I mean, in the sense कि अभी तेरा घर पे तेरा महंगाई, you see, we are big most people here have big families, right? It's a 2 + 2 + their parents. One set of parents. So that's 6 people in the family. Their inflation is as high as it was as high as 9% in the US.
Yeah. Yes.
9% in the US. This is like the lower end of UPA 2. Right? Lower end of UPA 2, just to put some comparisons. So that means you're paying groceries, US price groceries for 6 people. That adds up. It doesn't matter how rich you are. That still impacts your pocketbook. Right? And हमारे लोग में, we are still very penny pinching kind of people. We might be rich, but ध्यान से हम पैसा खर्च करते. So pocketbook issues still matter. And the thing is that people have pride here, right? We are better than India. कि माने कि रास्ता में खड्डा नहीं है, electricity ढंग से आ रहा है, right? कमाई ढंग से आ रहा है, government से harassment नहीं है. A lot of these things have been shattered over time.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
how much are they bothered about the fascism is coming and abortion rights will go away and stuff?
I mean, not that much. Like, because the longer you live here, you sort of realize what the rhetoric is like. And that's the other thing. That brings me to another topic, is that the past 4 years, the rhetoric around Trump has actually changed. Right?
So, this is what I'm saying, that there is a huge gap I'm saying between Bengali NRIs and non-Bengali NRIs, because I know countless Bengali NRIs who, and someone was saying in the comment section that Bengalis outside don't behave like Bengalis inside West Bengal. I don't know any such Bengali. Each and every Bengali I know in the USA or in Bangalore or in Maharashtra or in UP behaves the same fucking way they do while living in Jadavpur.
Oh, by the way, Trump's campaign managers, there are several Bengalis in there.
I see.
Yeah. So Democrats were accusing of those Bengalis of being
not real Indians.
Hindutvaadis. US mein
what are their names?
Like, it's ridiculous. But either way, that brings me to the second thing, is that over the past 4 years, the rhetoric around Trump has actually evolved quite a bit, right?
Yeah, it has.
In 2020, there was unanimous consent among media that Trump was a bad idea. Trump was a bad guy, right? But in 2024, there's actually a massive split between Trump is a bad guy and Trump is all right. right? And if you are mainstream media and you're sort of dependent on the interactions of the establishment government, like the United States government is still very establishment. Even under Biden ke andar, it has restored some establishment order. Trump actually broke a lot of those connections, right? Like, so media is like kind of very, very in deep, right? So they have their own connections in the US government, and Trump sort of broke all of that. So that pissed off the media. So mainstream media is very annoyed with him. But it is the non-mainstream media where his opinions have blossomed. He's become more nuanced, right? You had folks like Barry Weiss, who used to work for the New York Times, left the New York Times, started her own press outfit called the Free Press. And they are sort of like more, they have a lot of nuanced take on Trump. So a lot of people on the internet who kind of became disillusioned with mainstream media started following these guys. So Trump has actually been, he's not the evil guy out there to destroy democracy in America and everything else. That narrative did not work because you had this counter narrative being built for him. So there's a genuine split in the media for him right now.
How do you think it affects Canada?
We are fucked.
I see. I'm thinking, is it going to get better in any way because of Trump coming to power and then telling them to do some better things now?
So Canada is fucked either way.
I see.
So there's no difference between Democrats and Republicans are concerned when it comes to Canada, because Justin Trudeau has essentially pissed off both sides of the aisle.
I see.
Right? Like if it was Kamala, she would say nice things and still fuck you in the ass. And if it's Trump, he would say nasty things and still fuck you in the ass. Either way, your ass is fucked.
I see.
I'm sorry, I'm using explicit bad curse words, but our situation is pretty bad here. Because
I see. How have they pissed off the Democrats?
Like defense spending. See, Trudeau is a performative guy. He only virtue signals.
Yeah.
All the smart people in his cabinet have left him. Since COVID, they've all been gone.
Oh.
They've either been ejected or they've left him.
I see.
Like Trudeau was pretty good until late 2020, right? Because he still had competent people in his cabinet. Now they're all his lackeys who just suck up to him. Right? They all suck up to him. So he has essentially kind of made by not spending on defense, by not taking national security seriously, by like he hasn't done anything to improve the relations, right?
Okay.
He hasn't made a success out of like the trade deal. He sort of like kept things steady and not done much. And when it came to Ukraine, where they thought that Canada would support more, he's only committed, but he hasn't done anything. So Ukraine was supposed to get several $1 billion of weapons, but while that was announced, the procurement process hasn't even started, and it's been 18 months. Like, I mean, this is what's happening, right? And I think the Biden administration is very, very annoyed with the entire diplomatic spat. It's very clear. Right?
Who do you think will be the next ambassador to India from USA under Trump?
Hard to say. Hard to say.
Some NRI guy only, right?
I don't know. It's very hard.
Maybe Kash Patel. Of course, Kash Patel is too qualified to do this. Of course.
It's very hard to say. I think that's a little further down the line, because first you need to pick who's going to be Secretary of State.
Who do you think? What posts do you think Kash Patel and Vivek are getting? And Tulsi. Predictions.
None. None. But Vivek he will get a position. Whether it'll be in cabinet or within the party is going to be a different thing.
Yeah, I think he's going to become the Ohio governor, at least going to run for it. But Kash Patel, I have high hopes from, because he's been such a Trump loyalist for so long. And he's a skilled, able guy. Why do you have no hopes for Kash Patel?
I mean, I can't say about Kash, but for Vivek, I don't think he'll make it to cabinet.
I think so too, because he has pissed off the Jewish lobby enough.
No, I don't think it's Jewish lobby.
Okay.
He is literally a different see, JD Vance is one faction. See, JD Vance is more like the classical,
the controllable.
He's a classical conservative 2.0 or 3.0, if you want to put it that way.
Okay.
Right. He brings that classical conservative values, but with a more evolved sense, more adjusted to current realities rather than the realities of rather than the realities of the 70s or the 60s or whatever. Right. So like his wife's Hindu.
Yeah.
So he has a faction by himself, and he's the vice president.
Right.
And Ramaswamy is a completely different faction. He's a nationalist libertarian.
Yeah.
They are sort of competing factions. So I don't think he will make it in cabinet as long as JD Vance is there, unless Trump basically strikes a deal between the two of them, saying that
and everyone except Vivek is basically protectionist also. Vivek is the only nationalist libertarian.
Everybody is protectionist to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Right. Freedoms here is only individual freedoms, not like company freedoms, not like national freedoms or whatever. Like the nation, like the nation should be free from regulations. वैसा सब नहीं है.
Yeah.
The individual should be free from regulations. वो फर्क थोड़ा बहुत है उसमें दोनों में.
Yeah. There is huge amounts of regulation already in the US system, which is why it functions pretty solidly and ably. Which is why the fall of capitalism that commies predicted never happened, because they, I guess, listened to commies and tweaked their regulation accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they listen to commies. They listen to themselves, right? I mean, commies are not. I mean, the commie phenomenon is more recent, and they thought they would be on the upsurge because of Trump. But I think they overused that card. Everybody became tired. And the other thing is, fundamentally, it's like the past 4 years have been harsh on men. In North America, at least, it's been extremely harsh on men.
Yes.
It's been so harsh to the point that men and women in Hollywood now have to call themselves trans to get stable employment. इतना बकवास हो गया है.
एक secret बताऊं तो right when some people started saying that they are now getting notifications of my uploads and live streams, a few days before that, I took a survey on YouTube, and they repeatedly asked my sexuality, gender, everything. In all of those, I said I am transgender and bisexual. maybe because of that. So this is state and capitalism incentivizing those kinds of identifications.
No,
तो उसके बाद से notification आना शुरू हो गया.
I mean, but it's become, the entire industry has sort of become like that, right? So there's a lot of backlash going on because of all this DEI policies and all that. And Kamala Harris embraced that.
Yeah.
And people, you might say Trump this, Trump that, but fundamentally people do vote with their pocketbooks.
Yeah.
Right? You're killing my chances of my career. You're killing my opportunities. Why would I vote for you?
Yeah, that is what I know you hate Andrew Tate, but you have to admit that Andrew Tate is a result of the insane amounts of oppression that men have faced in Europe, especially England, in the last 20 years.
No,
Andrew Tate is just an aggressive version of Jordan Peterson.
No. I disagree mildly, right? Now, Andrew Tate became proven right in the past couple of years. He was way wrong before that.
But I'm saying that Andrew Tate phenomenon would not have happened if England had not gone so crazy against men.
No, I would put it this way. Fundamentally, what has happened is that Andrew Tate is Andrew Tate. He's been screaming, men are oppressed, men are oppressed, men are oppressed.
Right. He gets viewers because England is crazy.
No, fundamentally, what has happened, the government basically pushed men towards him.
That's exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So it's not that he's right. It's just that the situation blew towards him, made him look right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all of a sudden Ben Shapiro started making sense to everybody.
Yes.
Because the government started to act in a way that Ben Shapiro basically said that, hey, see, this is how I've been talking about how the government's acting all this while. Now they're doing the same thing that I've been saying for the past 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So that has fundamentally happened. It's not that men have been oppressed for 20 years and they suddenly realize, oh no, we are the oppressed kind. No, it has changed in the past couple of years. And they're reacting to that change in the past couple of years. I don't think this is going to be sustained. Right? Once the DI gets dropped, men will be back to the pre-DI days default. They won't.
Yeah, because after all, not complaining is a basic outcome of having testosterone. Now, if your testosterone gets fucked because of playing video games and having chips all day, or because of the chemicals in our foods, then it's a different issue. But in general, it's going to be normal masculine things only.
No, it's not that. I think fundamentally, it's the fact that men shouldn't be employed, or that men should be excluded from opportunities, or that this is hilarious. Father's Day should be cancelled. Like, it's a big deal here. Father's Day is a big deal in North America. क्योंकि हमारे पास festivities नहीं है. Right? I mean, there's Christmas, but it's like days like Father's Day, Mother's Day, it matters. It matters to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So and you say things like Father's Day we want to cancel Father's Day. Like all the dads in the country are like, what the hell? Right? And that's sort of being mainstreamed by someone like Harris. You're going to lose a significant amount of men vote.
Yeah. So now
and they'll bring women with them too. And the other thing is the trans issue has actually pushed women away too. क्योंकि हर एक चीज पे trans कर रहे हैं. And the primary
my hunch is that only. I think one of the key reasons for Trump's victory is the trans issue only, because parents are absolutely horrified. Like, if today I was an NRI living in USA, for that single reason I would vote for Trump, even if I was not a leftist, if I was a leftist.
Yeah, and again, kitchen table issues, right? You tell kids, like, this is really official policy in California. A teacher can teach your kid not to trust your parents if they feel like the kid's gender identity is different from their biological identity. I mean, this is nonsense. Right? You're teaching your kid not to trust your parents. Who's going to agree with that?
Yeah.
And this was justified under being inclusive.
And even in Republican states where there's a high amount of Democrats, those Republican governors behave like Democrats only, no? And Democrat states where there are Republicans almost breathing down their necks, those governors behave a little like Republicans. So in Indiana, even, it's a Republican-run state, even their kids have been already taken away because their parents didn't affirm the gender of the kid. So, and there are drag shows going on. There are naked pride parades going on. They are being taught how to give a perfect blowjob in school. So parents are absolutely horrified.
No, that's there. But amazingly, it's also what has happened is I think people have this, leftists especially have this notion that they are the only inclusive people on the planet, right? But um, in the past couple of years, it's been going on since COVID. By the way, I think COVID has brought a big reset in social fabric everywhere. Churches have started becoming inclusive. Right?
And
now they don't care if you're homosexual.
Yeah.
Right? You pray to Jesus Christ, you're welcome.
Yeah.
They don't.
And on the other hand, without COVID, there would not be such a gigantic black vote, because it's because of the sudden going viral of Thomas Sowell videos, which shifted the black vote, I think.
It did. It had some impact. Maybe like 10 or 15 cases.
And then so many black influencers coming about, that gay black man, Candace Owens, Thomas Sowell, so many black faces came about.
Yeah. So many black faces started merging, but that's only still 10-15%. Like, if the Republicans work on the black vote, they might actually sweep it take it away from under the Democrat rugs. But it's still a start. But the point still stands, right? Like, that there were multiple different factors, and the unpopularity of Kamala Harris and the entire DEI stuff, it basically made it easy for Trump to win. I mean, the guy won the popular vote and had like what? It's 46-52. That's a 8% lead. That's huge. It's not tiny. That's huge.
Yeah, you see, DEI and Thomas Sowell were double killers at the same time, because DEI, black people should have no problems with DEI because it's unfairly employing them only over everyone else. But on the other hand, they learned from Thomas Sowell that their life does not have to be about soft bigotry of low expectations. So
Yeah,
2 plus 2, 4, they got pissed off with Democrats.
Americans intrinsically understand Thomas Sowell. हर एक चीज में उन लोग को मालूम पड़ता है. I mean, see, Thomas Sowell, you have to think of him as a primary source, right? Secondary and tertiary sources से सब सीखते आ रहे हैं. तो यहाँ पर तो economics textbook तो निकाल. They talk about incentives. They talk about what Sowell has to say.
Right.
And other people also have to say.
Yes, exactly. The baseline knowledge about finance and economics of even American truck drivers is about 30 times higher than anyone in India.
Yeah. So, but I think it was the pervasiveness of DEI policies that basically turned people away.
But did it turn black people away?
Huh?
Did it turn black people away?
Not just black people away.
I think everyone except black people away.
No. I'm saying not just black. Even they were impacted by this. So I'll give you take the gaming industry. Right now, a lot of people don't realize that in the gaming industries, a lot of those game developers are actually black people. They do some of the most grungiest stuff.
Okay, and they are getting replaced by white women.
No, they're being replaced by trans people, not white women.
And white trans people.
Yeah, no, not even white trans people. Trans people. Anybody who calls themselves trans.
Oh, okay, nice. I see.
Trans and selected minorities.
And so now, M. Shastri will take other guests now. For your closing remarks, your predictions for how it impacts India now, Trump's victory.
It really depends on who becomes Secretary of State.
Who do you think? Do you have 2-3 predictions, 2-3 names in mind?
So, I think there are some names I have in mind. I have a list actually.
Okay.
किधर है? इधर है. Secretary of State, right? So there are a couple of like establishment Republicans turned Trumpists.
MAGA. Okay.
MAGA, like Marco Rubio, Bill Hagerty,
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think they have turned really. They're just swaying with the waves.
Yeah, they're swaying with the waves. Now,
Yeah.
if Trump picks them, then I think it's going to be more or less kind of the same, but with a little bit more tilt, right? They'll try to pull India in to do some more stuff with Iran, or uh, do some concession stuff here and there, right? But if you get a China hawk, like say, I think who's a good China hawk? Yeah, like Mike Waltz, right? Look him up. Then I think relations with India will just blossom. Anybody who's a deep China hawk
Yeah.
will ensure the relationship with India blossoms.
Do you think Cruz is going to get any position?
Which Cruz?
That governor guy who stood against Trump as well. That really polite but very able debater. I forgot his first name. Who was Ben Shapiro's first choice in 2016?
No.
What's his name?
No. It's all going to be new folks.
Ted Cruz.
Oh no. He's going to stay in the Senate. He's useful there, but I think the Trump cabinet is going to be a mix of like some old folks from his first administration and new folks. Like old folks, I mean, like these guys were previously secretaries, undersecretaries, etc. Will Kennedy Jr. get? I don't think so. Right? He's our outside
health secretary.
No. These are just all going to be inside within the campaign, right?
And
It'll
Elon?
be very
Elon?
Unlikely. Elon, he likes his business. He hates government. You think he's going to work with the United States government? No. It's not his style. He'll quit within 2 hours, saying that this is garbage.
That is true. That's a reality. He can't work with those fuckers.
No, I mean he won't be able to work. It's not his style. Like on the other hand, what he'll do is he'll convince Trump to establish some economic council or some shit like that, and then occasionally go to DC to talk to him.
Yeah, that's right. Okay then, M. Shastri, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll take other guests now. Thank you. So, Ninar, are you still online? Oh, our in-house libertarian Anand Sridhar is now, after 2.5 hours of the live stream, bhai, tum kaha the? Ninar, is Ninar online?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Ninar. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, yeah. So this will be like kind of a historical moment, right? Do you think that there's ever been a point where we had libertarians in government before?
Yeah, we'll have to be slyly, cheekily hidden libertarians, of course. If you go around saying you're a libertarian in the next 5-10 years, then you are not going to win. But you have to be a chupa libertarian and then go and do afuera of every department.
Yeah, no, I mean, other than the tariffs part, I think largely when you go to about regulations or cutting down government size and everything, Trump is all for it, right? So it's a libertarian government in that sense.
Yeah, definitely pro-business government. And the main reason I'm not that bothered about Trump winning or anything Trump can do bad to India is because of the position we are in at the moment. The strength of government, Narendra Modi being a rock solid face among all these changing governments all over the world for the last 15 years. Our GDP is higher, our BRICS is going strong. We have, at least just to scare people, we have had a BRICS currency now. Then we have dollar reserve, foreign exchange reserve is also there, and we have somewhat of a nicer situation with China as well. We have equal distance from Russia and China. So all that taken into account, I don't see how they are going to do something insanely harmful to India.
Balanced. in that way.
Right. Right. What do you think is going to happen to Vivek?
Vivek.
Future of Vivek.
I don't think anything significant is going to happen. But I do think that maybe some of Sanjeev Sanyal's views, right, on cutting down bureaucracy and all that, those might get some steam. By people do get inspired by looking at the US, right? So
Yeah. So yeah,
that's
actually,
positive, I guess.
Vivek might end up in the same situation as Sanjeev Sanyal. That Sanjeev Sanyal also goes on talking about cutting down bureaucracy, but usko karne koi deta nahi hai. So Sanjeev Sanyal still has to say that, see, we cleaned up the banks, we sold Air India for the last 4 or 5 years. Is going on saying that only.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's all I had. I just wanted to talk about the situation for libertarians among this.
Yeah. But
All
you
right,
see,
see you later then.
if the narrative goes on like this, and we somehow or the other people, the English speaking audience gets into more and more Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson and stuff, then of course there's already a growing base and acceptance of libertarian values, and we have convinced so many people from our channel as well that it is an acceptable idea. And especially some people get spooked because it's a English name, its ideologues or theoreticians have usually been from outside India, so they think it's some Western propaganda and stuff. But it's people are more and more every day realizing that the opposite of libertarianism is exactly what has fucked India for all these years.
Yeah, I mean, we've had even Elon Musk supported it as well. He's also had in X, he had cut down like something like 90% of his staff and everything, and worked out like perfect. That's like a live example. So we're always going to quote that for the government, right?
Yes, I think one of the biggest let's say obstacles to libertarianism in India are libertarians themselves. Oh my god, the amount of anti-Hinduness, and I think even not even deliberate
They're
anti-Hinduness, just
anti-culture in
nonchalant.
general. I've seen that.
Yeah, they just think culture नाम का कोई चीज exist ही नहीं करता है. They think it's everyone's just going to be business owners and run a business all day long.
It's too
There's no
individualistic
borders.
in that sense.
Absolute insanity from the biggest libertarians I know. Every time I share something nice from their posts, 5 seconds later I have to see something that makes me bleed from my eyes.
So do you think there's a meeting point between conservatives and libertarians in that?
That is Vivek Ramaswamy. That is national libertarianism. The speech he gave in the NatCon conference, that is exactly what I want for India. That is my manifesto.
Got it. Yeah, that was all. You can take the next person.
Yeah. Thank you, Ninar. Rohan Dante is asking, who's the best libertarian in India? Among the most sane voices, I don't know personally, but in our channel actually we have them. It's basically this guy called Ash Ketchum and Anand Sridhar. All the other libertarians I know from Facebook, pretty much all of them are absolutely crazy fuckers. And there's a handle on Twitter called Libertarian Party of India that also believes in mostly Hindutva values as well. They don't imagine that Hindutva is a right-wing fascist thing. There's one significant libertarian Indian guy from Kerala who was saying that even PFI is not that big of a problem and stuff. तो ऐसा अजीब बात बोलेगा तो क्या होगा? अब Sanjeev Sanyal's views can be argued to be libertarian leaning, but he's not exactly libertarian, of course. But कोई भी exactly libertarian होगा तब तो no open border anarcho capitalism हो जाएगा. Let's take our in-house libertarian to discuss this. Hi, Anand.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hi. So what's up? So what do you have covered till now?
We are discussing the implications of Trump's victory on India-US relations and India.
Have you covered Elon Musk yet?
No, just like what positions he may or may not get.
No. There's a more deeper problem with Elon Musk. You have to understand one thing. He has effectively captured the right-wing like speak space, right? Like he's become like the head honcho, the god emperor of the right-wing space. Like that is a risk. That's always a risk. Whenever you have an idol, one that can not be questioned much, it's always a risk. And secondly, no one has discussed, and this I'll blame the Democrats as well for it. The fact that they went around calling him fascist is a problem.
Yeah.
The better attack on Trump and Elon Musk would be that Trump basically by supporting Elon Musk is opened up America to Chinese interference. Because you look at Elon Musk's investments, they're significantly in China, and he has frequently pressures been put on him to not criticize China. So now there's going to be a conflict of interest. So if Trump wants to onboard jobs from China, and Elon Musk is pressure put on Elon Musk's investments in China, you have a conflict of interest. Right?
What's the best case scenario for Trump? What can he do to convince Elon to not do business to that extent in China? Can he do anything at all?
See, right now everything's held hostage, right? So Elon Musk has to take a cut, basically. He has to basically take a haircut, heavy haircut, and for that he will need like a assurance by Trump for some kind of benefit in the US. Now, if the Democrats are smart, they will target Trump for saying, "Oh, he'll basically say Elon Musk is your Ambani."
He's going to get the Adani Ambani treatment in USA for that.
Yes, exactly. So if they are smart, but they're not smart, that's the point. The Democrats are not smart. They've lost that fire in their belly. It's more about identity politics, and which I don't think they've learned till now. Even earlier, I think this guy Raja. I don't understand why Hindus are so woke. I don't get it actually. Like, what do you get out of being woke? Like, it's not serving you in any way. Raja Thanedar, this Thanedar goes on TV and he says, "Oh my God, the way so aggressive Trump is, and he makes everyone feel bad." And
who is Raja
that
Thanedar?
is not the what some Thanedar, Mr. Thanedar. What is his first name?
Sri Thanedar.
Sri Thanedar. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, what an irritating guy! Oh my God.
No, my point is he's a construct of the democratic safe space, right?
Yeah.
The point is I don't blame these people because they literally have to parrot these talking points to even hang out with those people. This is the problem with closed safe spaces, right? What happens is the safe space is only safe until you repeat what everyone else is repeating.
Yes, that is the consumption pattern of the exclusive group. That's their caste, being a Democrat.
Exactly. So the problem, again, this is like we always talk about whenever we come on any topic, it's about incentives. What is the incentive structure to have a certain talking point? That's why I'm saying, have the Republicans understood the incentive structure of having Elon Musk as their God Emperor? Now, they want, first of all, they want to stop foreign wars, right? It suits China for the US to pull in, because then they can expand their influence. Second, it suits China for America to onshore some things, and then basically, so imagine they onshore everything, right? They onshore all production. What happens? While locals may get jobs, but costs of all goods skyrocket.
I don't see how Trump is going to bring back any fucking job with a $15 minimum wage. How is that going to happen? Is he going to let go of that law?
That's my point. What will happen is, they'll exactly that. They'll remove the $15 minimum wage.
Do you think they're going to be brave enough to do that?
But if they want to succeed, think about it. This is his second term, right? So it is his legacy term. They're not like in India where you can have 3-4 terms. Only 2. This is last terms, right? Yeah. And he knows if he doesn't perform well in this term, he's going to be known only for one thing, which is election denial and bad words and grab your pussy and shit. That's all he's going to be known.
Surviving the assassination attempt.
So he will have to do something like Obama did Obamacare. Trump will have to do something specific. And that's why, while I do agree with you all that Vivek may not get a plum posting, he will be used to achieve Trump's at least like a final goal, right? And I think Vivek doesn't mind being used. He clearly he's okay with being used. However,
so away from the spotlight.
Away from he's fine with that. I personally think it is a very Hindu tendency of, I care about my family. I will do whatever I can to get that, my family basically. And he sees his kids are being raised in this kind of woke culture, and a lot of Hindu parents now are getting really freaked out by what's happening. I think that's his incentive, not anything greater for the American country and all. I don't think so, because I don't buy his bullshit. I don't buy his bullshit about America being the greatest country in the world, and we have to. I think it's all about his family. And
some country or the other overall can be declared to be the best country in the world. to get into a bit of controversy, which do you think is the greatest country in the world at the moment?
Greatest country in the world? There is no such thing. That's my point. Because you have to slice your metric, assessment metric across multiple things. Are you saying the best country in the world in terms of money, best country in terms of military, best country in terms of happiness? Like I would argue the happiest people in the world are Indians. Like seriously, how much of we scream and shout, we are a very content people. Okay.
I'm saying as a 30-40-year-old guy with a wife and 2 kids and a dog, what country would you live in? And who wants to live in that country forever and retire, and his children, grandchildren can also.
I would still argue India. Like you seen where like literally all the people make money. They go to some where all the old people stay, and they set up buy a small house, and they just until they die there. They just pass away there. That's literally how Indians live. And they don't, and most of the poor, I understand, have difficulty, but majority of the middle class people, they have enough money to like basically survive until they get a heart attack or something like that. So basically, most people are very happy. See, you have to understand the Asians. Might have said East Asian societies, but you have to understand the cost of living in East Asian societies is so high, so high. So as they get older, they're always struggling to make ends meet in terms of their health bills and shit.
Exactly.
I mean, some countries will be okay because they are like Singapore, for example, they subsidize old people's healthcare, but most other countries have difficulty when they get older and loneliness. So again, Asian societies have this problem of loneliness because their older generation lives apart from their family. Frequently that happens. So that loneliness, again, that's not happiness, right? I think we are at a sweet spot. We are at a sweet spot, but we are not great in terms of our earning income. We're not great in terms of our cleanliness of air, water, like those things, first world things. We're not great at that. But just surviving with not too much stress in mind, we're in that sweet spot.
Yeah. So now someone is asking in our private chat that isn't a wage cut inevitable if de-dollarization is to follow?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, de-dollarization will only happen when they succeed in doing all these other things. See, because think about it, they will onshore their jobs, right? To cover for that, they have to print a lot of currency. Think about it. So basically, your costs will skyrocket. You start printing lots of currency. You print too much currency, your currency value will get lower and lower because the world is like, there's too much dollars in the market. The value is lower. When that happens again, what will happen? People don't want to keep dollars anymore. Then these dollars will happen. So what I'm like, I'm not concerned for America. America will handle its thing. We have to worry about what we are going to do in response to those actions, right? So as they go more and more towards their their bubble burst, basically, you have to understand even the right wing bubble there is going to burst someday. Like they're like, oh, we will have all the jobs back, and we also have low cost, and we'll also have closed borders, and we also have great jobs and great like even if you sell all the oil you have, just imagine they said sell all the oil. Like Trump said, no, black gold, let's sell oil. If you flood the market with oil, the cost of oil will drop. How much more can you flood the market with oil? It's the same thing with cash. You cannot flood anything. You're going to keep it to. That's why the cartel is so effective. The cartel is effective because they're like, okay, I'll keep the supply to the general public as low as possible. And at the same time, make a profit. At the same time, not like make people come and run after me and invade my country, like Iraq. It happened to Iraq. So their solution is just selling. Again, that's why I said no. Vivek says, "Oh, we'll just unleash American energy." No, you need to unleash many different types of energy. You can't just unleash oil and gas. You got to unleash solar, you got to unleash wind, you got to unleash tidal. So you have like multiple baskets. It's like when you do an investment, you do multiple investments. You don't do this one investment and say, oh, I'll put all my eggs in this basket. So that's why I don't agree with him on the climate change thing as well. Because he's like, the problem is all the people who debate him are all morons. Like all these woke idiots who debate him on climate. They'll go, oh, I emotionally feel so hurt. Mother Earth is dying, blah, blah, blah. No one actually challenges them on stuff.
Like that's how most vegans also lose arguments. They get emotional.
Forget about the world. Okay, just ask him a simple question. If even 2 centimeters or 2 inches or whatever, how much of the water level increases, and suddenly all the low-lying areas in the world start getting flooded, where do you think those immigrants are going to run to? They're going to run to so-called developed places in the world. It then becomes a national security threat. Like literally, you're basically choosing one for the other.
Which is why they need illegal immigrants to even fight wars, क्योंकि white men तो सब obese हो गए हैं, तो youth
No,
करेगा
forget
कौन?
about that. At least you can control the tap of your oil. You can't control human beings. Human beings are like the greatest, most freaky, scary people in the world. You got to use hard power for that. So they're trading one danger for another danger. Like, let's assume that it's not climate change is not man-made. Okay, let's assume that also. If you're not going to worry about, and this is given that the ice caps are melting, and even if it's natural ice caps are melting, your job is like to prevent that catastrophe of people coming running to your country. Literally, Europe has been facing this for like last 10 years, and if you can't see that,
hence Elon Musk taking us all to Mars. We'll go.
I mean, he's ready. He's planning already. He's like, okay, I'll take all this fuel, I'll build my rocket ship, and I'll go to the moon, and then you guys can enjoy it.
Pura cyberpunk scenario. So, what I'm wondering is, wait, I had an interesting question to ask from the comment section only. I forgot. No. So go on. I forgot the question. I'll remember a little later.
No. So that's one thing. So Elon Musk is one question, right? The second question is again this. I mean, they a lot of the commentators in India, the BJP commentators in India, are like, oh, Modi and Trump have a great relationship, and there will be no issues, and like they'll figure it out. But you understand, Trump of 2019 is not Trump of 2024. His coalition is different. So earlier his coalition was what? Centrist, mostly centrist Republicans, a handful of warmongers, and some of the Tea Party, right?
Yeah.
Now what he has a large numbers of different ethnic groups. This is basically this is an economic coalition. It's not an ideological coalition. It's an economic coalition, right? So he has to fix inflation. So that is what he's been basically brought to power by inflation. Just like Biden was brought to power because of COVID. So the reason Trump lost the election is because of COVID. It's very simple. It's not because, oh my God, everyone's like, triggered by how oppressive he is and how anti-feminist he is. COVID screwed their economy really badly.
Yeah, that was actually my question. That even if by some miracle, let's say Trump actually throws out minimum wage laws, how do those laborers or anybody pay for anything? Because
no, I'm saying what will happen. What will happen is he has to create incentives for companies to pay them. So he will not create a law. So there are two ways to handle wage supply, right? Either provide either create regulations, or you give incentives. Now he assumes, he says, I'm a businessman. So if you're a businessman, your incentive structure should be designed in such a way that the company will do well and the wage will also be high enough. But the minute the wage starts increasing, the company's costs will be passed on to the consumer. Now again, you're manage. Okay, will the consumer, who is also your wage earner, will they be okay with having high consumer prices? Right? Because you see, Americans have not had to face inflation because of their printing of money. They've faced inflation here and there. But if you look at Ben Bernanke, all those people, basically they've been managing interest rates, and they've been managing their inflation to a certain extent. Now, if they're going to bring back all production, another thing, very interesting thing. So Vivek says that the carbon footprint of America is so low. Why? Because you exported all your production to China.
Yeah.
And then all that carbon just went to China. And then when it comes back, it's going to skyrocket your country as well. Right?
That is the argument and prediction that therefore now Florida, Texas will have to face pollution and carbon footprint.
Yes, exactly. Wherever they set up a factory, that area will get polluted.
Yes.
That because you know for certain that these people have not had practice. Like the last time they were doing heavy manufacturing was doing in Detroit and the car manufacturing and stuff. Like they're going to start that same shit again. So they're not used to it. For like how many years they've not done manufacturing, right? And their second thing is where they can skill labor from. So how much time will it take to train their people to do the manufacturing? Yeah, Americans are hardworking. I'll give you that. Not a problem. That's not going to be a challenge. But they have to take. It'll take time. It'll take at least a 6-7 year period to train those people to do the manufacturing. Right? By then, Trump's term is over. So how will he continue his policy stuff? So all this is very intricate part.
What is then the price of that car manufactured in USA? Who's going to buy it outside USA?
That's my
Or
point.
when
So
is
another
anyone
thing they will face is China, because they're forgetting again that the reason Chinese goods is are spread all over the world is because China subsidizes all that the prices using American money. The money that they invested in China to basically outsource manufacturing, they're using the same thing to make everything cheap. So the price competition will get very high. Trump will say, okay, you're doing the price so high, so low prices, I'll put tariffs. Now, even if you put tariffs, right? How much can you put tariffs on Chinese products? Because if you do on China, then people will say, oh, China say, oh, why not putting to other people? Then he'll put on other people, and then basically the whole world will get angry with him. So
it's
this
a
is going to be like
nuclear-armed
a
second largest GDP country. How much are you going to arm twist them?
You can't. There's very limited amount you can arm twist. So my point is they have to think about all these things. And the problem is the Democrats are so stupid. They never ask these questions. They never had not one discussion. Everything is about abortion. Like, okay, I understand ladies want abortion rights, but ma'am, you cannot, if you can't get food on the table, how are you going to get an abortion? Even have to grow the child.
Don't you think Biden is a sleeper agent of China, especially what he did?
No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that Hunter laptop Biden. So that's nonsense. That's basically red. It's like Ambani Adani for Modi. It's
China and Joe Biden seems really fishy.
No, I do agree that they have some
when he was
the
VP.
No, that my point is, you understand. Politicians do this all the time. Okay, politicians in different countries do this all the time. They do these inner dealings and shit. Let's not be gullible that Modi has not done dealings with what do you call it, US while Congress was in power. It's all like even now, if you look at Kharge and all the Mallikarjun Kharge and his son, they're trying to do deals abroad. Then this guy from Telangana is also trying to do deals abroad. This will happen. Point is whether they took any kickbacks. And they have to prove that in court. My point is different. My point is that why can't you ask significant questions about the economy? Trump is brushing everything off by saying I'm a victim. Right? Because he's not a libertarian. Okay, Trump is not a libertarian. He's just a good negotiator. That's it. But the Democrats are so involved in identity politics, they forgot about the most obvious things that he could have targeted him with. I mean, and these are Indians who could have easily contributed to the growth of the country went and they're basically choosing between two sides that one will sort of support you in politics, but economics is going to. I personally think America is going to do badly in the next 2 years, but they will stick up their inflation. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, someone in the comment section is saying Kash Patel will become a CIA chief. Probably. Do you think so? You don't think so?
No, I don't know. Don't ask me. This is none of the stuff I know. Don't ask me about security stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
I like that. I don't know much.
Okay, Anand. Thanks for joining. We'll take the next guest now.
Okay.
Thank you, Anand.
Bye.
Hi, Abir.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. You can speak in Hindi or English, whichever you are more comfortable with. Okay.
Yeah, I was speaking English. Okay.
Okay.
The Chitang issue was discussed.
No, I just pointed out that something bad was going on since last night.
Very, not bad. Very, very bad. Actually.
How did it start? Yeah, first tell us what exactly happened, and then tell us what triggered this.
Okay. So basically, they are trying to ban ISKCON as a terrorist organization in Bangladesh.
Oh.
And they are telling that I think his name was Mahmudur Rahman. He runs a newspaper. He is an editor of a newspaper, Amar Desh, and basically he was an ex-BMP. So he 1 week ago in a press conference said that ISKCON is a terrorist organization and it should be banned. And ISKCON is a raw agent. So then discussion was circulated in the social media that ISKCON is this and that, and basically attacking us and doing blasphemous of all kinds.
Achha.
So there is a area called Hajari Line in Chittagong, which is basically 90% Hindu dominated area, and that area is actually like a gully, but the pharmacies and gold shops are there, and mostly are Hindus, and all over the Chittagong, the medicines are bought from there. So it's basically economically a good area. And so there a Muslim shop owner was there, and he shared a post related to ISKCON, saying something very bad about ISKCON. So Hindu gathered there because they knew him. He works among us, and then he is saying these things. So Hindu boys got agitated and decided to basically. Hindus actually vandalized a part of the shop, but the shopkeeper was also saved by the Hindus. That this is very important. The shopkeeper was also saved by the Hindus, and the Hindus there, the local Hindus there, took the shopkeeper and basically gave it to the police and the army was called by us. So when the army was taking the shopkeeper, some Hindu boys, because they were agitated, they threw stones. And allegedly, the army is claiming that an acid was thrown at a member. So 13 were injured, not very badly. Police and army men, as per the army sources. So it happened then. Everyone went to their homes and basically everyone was doing their business. 2 hours later, army came, but came with, like, I don't know if there was a war going on. Like there was a war going on.
Yeah, they came fully armed.
Huge numbers.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
You cannot imagine how many cars. It's like a war zone. Surrounded the whole area with army and police. And basically they imposed section 144 that basically you cannot go, two men cannot work together.
Curfew,
yeah. And they came like unannounced, and they started beating everyone mercilessly. Look, that area is like a medicine shop and a gold market area. There will be people, Hindus, everywhere people. They started beating all.
I see.
They even didn't and they beat so badly. So everyone actually closed their shop. Those who couldn't, they were hidden in their shop. But the very serious issue that happened is that army actually destroyed CCTV cameras. It only happens when you want to hide something.
Yeah.
Why does army have to break CCTV cameras?
Yeah.
They have every right to arrest everyone. Okay, arrest 82 have been arrested so far. I think in the night it was 200 plus, but now it's 82. So and then army actually opened fire at houses, buildings, and you can see it in. I think Asad Noor did a live on it. If he actually attached the videos. So you can watch the videos there. But
I mean, who is ordering these things? Because I don't think Muhammad Yunus is actually directly doing these things. Who is behind these?
He won't. Basically, army. I honestly, I'm a layman, so I don't know who is ordering. But this is basically army has divisions, right? So I don't think that the army chief will take this agitation and order that go do this. Maybe the division commander or something. Even I am speaking, it is very dangerous, but let me speak because they have come to home. They can take me. Anyways, and I am very close. So basically, and the concerning part was that the army people, as it was surrounded, a video was shared. I think Asad Noor also shared that video in his live stream. That an army man or a police officer, it has to be one of them, was saying, 1, I will count to 3, you have to open it, or otherwise I will kill you. Which no army or police does, even in India. Today, Donald Trump winning has actually avoided a genocide in Bangladesh. I'm to be blunt. Or something bad would have happened. Because think about it. This army is the reason of Sheikh Hasina's win.
Explain that to people on our side who are saying that why are you celebrating Trump's victory? Who cares if Trump wins?
Yeah, you don't know. My Mashi was smiling. My jetty was smiling today. Even the elderly people who don't know, they are happy. Why? Because we know that at least if Trump comes, he won't give the support to the those sections who actually agitated and killed police officers and all that. I don't want to name them, but you know which parties are from them, and they won't get the power. And if they won't get the power, it will be between BNP and Awami League. And I think because Trump comes, it will be to, let me be very blunt, it will be towards India's hand. So BNP will also, change his attitude. Therefore,
Abir,
at least for
Abir,
3
check
to
out
4
this
years,
comment. Exactly what we just talked about. A viewer is saying, I don't know why Indians are so happy that Trump won. He has kissed the ring of the deep state. That's the only way he won. He will be a great leader for America, not for India. Who's saying he'll be a great leader for India? Oh my God.
Yeah,
explain to him
you don't
why
interfere
Trump
in
winning is
India or
important.
Bangladesh, you will be good. And look, actually literal genocide was avoided. You don't know look, army can frame us at any time, any point. We are not like the peaceful. We don't have any weapons here, okay?
Right.
We can't even resist. So it's very easy. And look, the protest we are doing, it is sending meltdowns over there. They are actually can't fathom that we are doing this.
Yeah.
And why? Think about it. Why they want to attack ISKCON? Like ISKCON, every country, like even Pakistan, even in Pakistan, ISKCON is there. No Pakistani Maulana tells to ban ISKCON, but in Bangladesh it's happening.
Yeah.
It is becoming even more radical than Pakistan. You don't know the ground situation. It's not that good. Look, if Kashmir
That
happens
is
in
why
India.
it's a very important point that you said that Bangladesh is becoming more radical than Pakistan because Pakistan is a fucking bhikari. Bangladesh is not. Bangladesh has prospered because of India. And which is what people like Major Gaurav Varia have been pointing out, and Sushant Sareen, that this idea that Congress put forward that a prosperous Pakistan is in the best interests of India. No, a bhikari Pakistan is in the best interests of India. नहीं तो बांग्लादेश की तरह हो जाएगा. उसका चुतियापा करने का पैसा है अब बांग्लादेश के पास, पाकिस्तान के पास नहीं है.
Also, the Sheikh Hasina fetish should be stopped. It does not matter if Sheikh Hasina comes. You will come. He may give us some relative security, but she will also promote or give money to new conversion to convert Hindus because it was done in the previous generation. So,
and actually, as an Indian, I never knew this, that Sheikh Hasina is not that pro-Hindu now. But now, I think because Sheikh Hasina went away from power, Deep Haldar absolutely has broken that myth. I think there's a huge conversation, discourse, and it's mainstream knowledge among Indian right-wingers that even Awami League was not really pro-Hindu in any way. They were just a little less anti-Hindu.
Yes, that is true. And I think I was telling, the secret society members of Anushilan Samaj to basically come out on streets in India and actually protest this. Because think about it. In Utsav Mondal's case, the army did not have the guts to even stop the crowd. They had tanks there. But they did not stop until the crowd was beaten that boy up and convinced that he was dead. Now think about it. Yeah, some stone was pelted, and what the disproportionate action was given.
Yes,
and
of course.
Still, I think Indian Hindus need to be convinced, or even the establishment. I do not know what the Modi ji or the current establishment think. Do they think that okay, Sheikh Hasina will be there and all will be good, or we are just some patuke to katuke rhetoric wala examples because we don't want to be. Give us real solutions, and the only real solution that can be either a cession or a separate land. Because there is not a significant chunk of liberal population here in Bangladesh that can give us the rights. We do not have even minority rights here. Even Pakistan has a minority ministry and I think Hindu Mantralaya or something. It's not here even, and no party has given it. So which party will give it? And there is no liberal population to be that side. So stop the Hasina fetishization. It won't give, like, what will you?
Right.
You are seeing the real nature of Bangladesh, that we are being like, I am being abused every day, even my fans, that I do not post anything anti-India. So right now here, all the things is anti-India. So even if you give $1 billion, it will be still anti-India. Even Congress comes, it will be anti-India. So take real actions. And because Donald Trump won, I won't say to get out on street, but still, if you go out on street, basically on your own to protest this, basically brutality. Basically, it was a brutality. And if you do, at least it will send a good message that no, this won't be tolerated, and army can't take this much action, because obviously army is also scared of sanctions. Bangladesh army is not that much, like Pakistan army, but it is trying to be. I do not know.
उसका टाइम आ रहा है, कुछ तो होगा ही.
So please,
Okay, Abid.
I will tell.
Yeah. Thank you for thank you for informing us about these things. We'll take Anand again to clarify why is it a good thing that Trump won? Do we have any right to celebrate?
No, first of all, let's tackle the foreign policy stuff. Okay. First thing everyone must understand is, no matter whether it's pro-India, pro or anti-India, when an administration changes, policy continuity breaks. So for the next 3 months, 3 or 4 months until Trump takes office, Yunus is going to have a problem. Like he's not sure whether he's going to get funds or help from the American government. That's the first thing. Second thing, when the administration changes, Trump is going to kick out a lot of people who are running on the Bangladeshi operation for the Americans. He's going to get rid of a lot of them, right? So again, that's going to throw the new Bangladeshi government guys out of focus. Like they are literally to wait. They are bated breath. So again, there you have some time. So this is literally breathing time for Bangladeshi Hindus. It's breathing time right now. If Harris had won, that would be guaranteed the same thing. Like everything would have been kept consistent. Nothing would have changed, right? Because there's policy continued. The same people, the same everything. The third thing, when Trump starts building his foreign policy, you will have time to lobby him, which you will not have in the earlier time. So you have and especially if I'm not wrong, a lot of people funding his campaign in the US are also Bangladeshi Hindus, Bengali Hindus basically. Yeah, they're lobbying him there. So my point is very simple. You have a chance at least with Trump. With Kamala Harris, it's already set. It's set and right. The most important thing is this. If Trump wants some deal with some for some tariff for some goods in India, market access, India has the ability to negotiate on the behalf of Hindus as well. Now your job is to not and first of all, India can't invade Bangladesh. I want them to, but India can't. I want them to. I want them to invade and take a certain amount of territory and at least keep a protection zone for Hindus. But India is not going to do that. Modi is not interested. Modi is interested in the economy right now. His goal is next 2050, making India a $5 trillion, $10 trillion economy he wants to do it. And any war will come in the way of that. And I feel bad for the Bangladeshi Hindus, but that's the reality. You are basically stuck on your own. So the solution would be use the time that you have between this buffer time to set up your enclaves, get rid of any of these what's the BNP guys in your locality. Start building like protection structures in your region, wherever your region is. Watch out, keep an eye out for incursions by army and Islamists and stuff, and create an enclave. That's the only option you have. You have 3-4 months to do this, to set up before and then lobby at the same time the American government. That's the only thing these are tools you have. And you cannot expect help from other people. You can accept maybe monetary help. There'll be some donors helping you, but beyond that, the Indian government is not going to come out and help you.
And there are enough, I think, Bangladeshi Hindu population in the US as well, who are basically the right wing in this context, who are in favor of the safety of Bangladeshi Hindus. A
lot of them are pro Khalistani and shit, man. They take pictures with Khalistan
general Bengali
in Canada and US.
Yes, there are Bengali liberal Hindus as well, but a lot of Bangladeshi Hindus are these days migrating to USA. A lot of them from India as well, who are finally right wing.
Right, I understand that.
But I don't think I don't think they have negotiation power as of yet in the higher echelons of power of USA.
No, I believe you have some negotiation power, but that's not going to give any incentive for Trump to stick his neck out for Bangladeshi Hindus uniquely. He may speak, he may get rid of the incentive structure because he doesn't want to spend money abroad. Right now, what they're doing is spending money to prop up Yunus. He will cut funding on that. That's the maximum he can do. He can't control the Islamists. He can't okay, I'm going to expend my political capital to go and help Bangladeshi Hindus. That's not going to happen. Unless, of course, if you can frame it as Bangladeshi Hindus and Christians are being attacked. Now, that's a way in.
Frame it as Christians exactly. That's why he mentioned Christians in his tweet favor of Bangladeshi Hindus. Exactly.
If you want the American right wing to care anything about you, you have to add Christians along with it. Right. So, for example, if you say that the Hindus are being killed in Pakistan, they don't care.
Yeah.
But you say Pakistani Hindus and Christians are being victimized, then we care. Because we only care about Christians. That's the reality, okay? That's the unfortunate reality. So, you notice in Trump's speech, he didn't mention Hindus.
Yeah.
He mentioned Muslims.
Yeah.
That's the irony. Muslims hate his guts, but he mentioned Muslims. Because that's what matters in the Western world. Muslims and Christians. And Jews, because you support Israel. That's not.
Do you
but
think
Hindus
any
do not
Muslim
matter.
American? What percentage of Muslim Americans do you think voted for Trump?
I have no idea, but I know Arabs voted for him. So an entire region of Arabs voted for him.
Yeah, the Saudis and UAE guys.
Yeah, we make this mistake. We assume Muslim is equal to Arab. No, Arabs are different from Muslims. Their identity is unique. Same with we make this mistake of Indonesian equal to Muslim. No. Yeah. Indonesian identity is unique.
Yeah.
It is only the Indian subcontinent Muslim that is I'm Muslim, I'm a Muslim. I'm not Indian. I'm not Indian. Mera naam Muslim. So that is the problem. Yeah. We have and this is irony. If you remember when the 9/11 thing happened, what is the first narrative that Islamists around the world or Muslims around the world were saying? Oh no, don't club us in with those people. They are not the culture of us. Our cultures are unique. Each region. Yeah. But have you noticed now? Now everyone's part of the Ummah after 9/11 is over.
Yeah.
So, and the worst part is the opposition to these people never ask them. Oh, I thought you were unique cultures. Why do you want to be the same?
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's my thanks.
Yeah. Thanks then, Anand. All the other guys waiting in the queue. I have to go offline now. It's 10:40. I have to go have dinner and play with my dogs a bit. So I can't take you online anymore. I'm sorry for that. But thank you for joining and enriching us with your views. It was a great discussion to have. And thank you, Abir, for informing us of the horrid situation in Bangladesh. Thank you for joining, guys. Good night. Bye-bye. See you soon.
श्रवरूढं महाभीमं गुणाद्रष्टाङ्गरप्रदम् अस्य युक्तं त्रिनेत्रं च कपालकर्णिकाकरां युक्तकेशिं ललज्जयं पिबन्तीं रुधिरं चतुर्बाहु समायुक्तं वराभयकरं स्मरेत् चतुर्बाहु समायुक्तं वराभयकरं स्मरेत् काली काली महाकाली कालिके पापहारिणी धर्मर्थमोक्षदे देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते धर्मर्थमोक्षदे देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते काली काली